You're fired. Pack your things. Leave, now. Marcus Wellington's voice exploded across the kitchen like a gunshot. His hands trembled with rage as he stared at the woman holding his daughter on her shoulders. The singing stopped instantly. 3 little girls froze, and in that moment he destroyed everything. But you need to understand how we got here. What made a billionaire lose control so completely? What secret had been kept from him for 6 weeks, and what he was about to lose forever? Subscribe to this channel right now, follow this story to the very end, and comment below with the city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. Now let me take you back. Let me show you what really happened. Marcus Wellington stood in the foyer of his 15,000 square foot mansion in Buckhead, Atlanta. His private jet had landed at Hartsfield-Jackson just 2 hours ago. He wasn't supposed to be home for another week. The Dubai deal could wait. Something in his gut told him to come back. He didn't know why. He just knew he had to be here. The house was silent. It had been silent for 19 months. Marcus set down his leather briefcase on the marble floor. He loosened his tie. He took a breath. Then he heard it. A sound. His chest tightened. No, it couldn't be. He stood frozen, his heart pounding against his ribs. He tilted his head, listening. The sound came again. Faint. Distant. But real. Laughter. Children's laughter. Marcus grabbed the stair railing to steady himself. His daughters hadn't laughed in 19 months. They hadn't spoken. They hadn't cried out loud. They just existed, 3 little ghosts drifting through this massive house, holding each other's hands, staring at nothing. He moved toward the sound. Down the hallway. Faster. His expensive Italian shoes clicked against the hardwood. The laughter grew louder. Clearer. It was coming from the kitchen. Marcus reached the door. His hand trembled as he pushed it open, and what he saw made his entire world stop. Faith, his youngest by 3 minutes, sat on a black woman's shoulders, her small hands tangled in the woman's braids, giggling uncontrollably. Grace and Hope sat barefoot on the counter legs, swinging faces glowing with pure joy. They were singing. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. Their voices filled the room like music Marcus had forgotten existed. The woman was folding small lavender dresses, humming along, smiling like this was the most natural thing in the world. The girl's hair was neatly braided with purple ribbons. Their cheeks were flushed with happiness. They looked alive. For 3 seconds, Marcus felt something crack open in his chest. Relief. Gratitude. Joy so powerful he couldn't breathe. His daughters were talking, they were laughing, they were singing. Then Faith shouted, "Louder, Miss Serena, sing louder!" And everything shifted. Something dark rose up inside him, fast, hot, ugly. This stranger had done what he couldn't. This woman he'd never even noticed had brought his daughters back from the dead. While he was in Dubai closing deals, she was here, loving them, healing them, being the parent he should have been. The jealousy hit him like a fist to the stomach. What the hell is going on here? His voice exploded across the kitchen. The singing stopped instantly. Faith's face crumpled with fear. The woman stumbled backward, her hands shaking as she carefully lifted Faith off her shoulders and set her down. Grace and Hope froze on the counter, their legs stopping mid-swing. Mr. Wellington, I can explain. This is completely inappropriate. Marcus's voice cracked with anger he didn't understand. You were hired to clean, not to play dress-up, not to turn my kitchen into some kind of circus. The woman lowered her eye. I was just spending time with them, sir. They were finally. I don't want to hear it. Marcus's fists clenched at his sides. His face burned red. Putting my daughters on counters, carrying them around like that. What if one of them fell? What if something happened? Nothing happened, sir. I was being careful. I would never let anything. You're fired. The words came out cold. Final. Pack your things. Leave now. The woman stood there for a moment. Her hands gripped the edge of the counter. Her eyes were wet, but she didn't argue. She didn't beg. She just nodded slowly. Yes, sir. She walked past Marcus with her head high and her shoulders straight. Tears slipped quietly down her cheeks, but she made no sound. The girls didn't move. They climbed down from the counter, slowly, carefully holding each other's hands like they always did. Their faces went blank. Empty, like someone had reached inside them and turned off a switch. They looked at their father, really looked at him, and Marcus saw it. Fear. They were afraid of him. Grace's lip trembled, but no sound came out. Hope gripped her sister's hands tighter. Faith's eyes filled with tears that fell silently down her cheeks. Then they turned and walked out of the kitchen together, hand in hand. Their bare feet padded softly against the cold floor. The room fell silent. Marcus stood there alone. The lavender dresses the woman had been folding were still on the counter. His legs felt weak. He grabbed the counter to steady himself. What did I just do? His voice was barely a whisper. The house was silent again, the way it had been for 19 months. Cold, dead, empty. Marcus Wellington wasn't always this broken. He grew up in a cramped apartment in Bankhead. His mother Rosetta cleaned houses for rich white families on the north side of Atlanta. His father Samuel drove trucks until his back gave out when Marcus was 12. One night when Marcus was 14, his father sat him down at the kitchen table. Son, you see how we live? Yes, sir. You want your kids to live like this? No, sir. Then you gotta work harder than everybody else. Twice as hard. 3 times as hard. You gotta be so good they can't ignore you. You understand? Yes, sir? Marcus never forgot those words. By 30, he'd flipped his first property, a rundown duplex in East Atlanta that everyone said was worthless. He turned it around for a $60,000 profit. By 35, he owned half a block of commercial space in Midtown. By 40, he was worth $400 million. Everyone called him a genius, a visionary, a man who could turn garbage into gold. But he was alone. Then he met Evelyn. It was at a charity gala in Buckhead. Marcus was standing by the bar, uncomfortable in his tuxedo, watching rich people pretend to care about inner-city schools. A woman approached him, beautiful, confident, eyes that saw right through him. You look miserable, she said. I am miserable. Then why are you here? My accountant said it would be good for my image, she laughed. At least you're honest. I'm always honest. It's a character flaw. No, she said. It's refreshing. Her name was Evelyn Carter, civil rights attorney, daughter of a Baptist preacher from Macon. She didn't care about his money. She didn't care about his buildings. She cared about who he was underneath all the success. On their third date, she told him straight, "You work too much. You talk about money like it's oxygen, and you need to learn how to sit still for more than 5 minutes." Why would you want to date someone like that? Marcus asked. Because underneath all that hustle, I see a good man, a scared man, but a good one. Scared of what? Being poor again, being invisible again, being the boy from Bankhead that nobody believed in. Marcus felt his throat tighten. How do you know that? Because I grew up the same way, and I recognized the look. They married on a beach in Savannah, just 50 guests. Her grandmother's gospel choir sang Amazing Grace. Marcus cried in front of everyone and didn't even care. I love you, he whispered during their first dance. I'm going to spend the rest of my life making you happy. I know you will, Evelyn said. Just promise me one thing. Anything. When we have children, you'll be there, really there. Not just sending money, not just buying things, present, every single day. I promise. 3 years later, the triplets came, Grace, Hope, and Faith, born on Easter Sunday. Evelyn held all 3 of them in the hospital bed, exhausted but radiant. Look at them, Marcus. Look at what we made. They're perfect. They're miracles. 3 miracles at once. God is showing off. Marcus laughed through his tears. What do we do now? We love them. We raise them. We teach them what matters. What matters? Evelyn looked up at him with those eyes that always saw the truth. Family, Marcus. Family matters. Everything else is just noise. For 4 years, Marcus had everything. He learned to change diapers. He learned to make bottle after bottle at 3 a.m. He learned the words to every nursery rhyme, every lullaby, every silly song the girls loved. He was there for first steps, first words, first day of preschool. Grace said Dada first. Hope said more, because she always wanted more of everything. Faith sang before she talked, humming melodies nobody had ever taught her. They were magic, those girls, pure magic, and Evelyn was the center of their world. Then, on a rainy Tuesday in November, everything ended. Marcus was in Singapore, closing a deal worth $180 million. His phone rang at 3 a.m. local time. Mr. Wellington, this is Detective Morrison with the Atlanta Police Department. I'm sorry to inform you that your wife... What happened? There was an accident, sir. A drunk driver ran a red light on Peachtree Street. Your wife's car was hit on the driver's side. She didn't survive the impact. I'm very sorry, sir. Marcus dropped the phone. He fell to his knees in that Singapore hotel room and screamed until his voice gave out. He made it home in time for the funeral, but not in time to say goodbye. The girls stood at their mother's casket holding hands. They didn't cry. They didn't speak. They just stared at the closed lid like they were waiting for it to open. Mommy's sleeping, Faith whispered. It was the last thing she said for 19 months. Marcus knelt down beside them. "Girls, Mommy had to go to heaven. She's with Jesus now. She's watching over us." Grace looked at him. "When is she coming back?" "She's not coming back, baby. I'm so sorry." "Why not?" "Because that's not how heaven works." "Then I want to go to heaven too." Marcus's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. "No, baby. You have to stay here. With me. With your sisters. Mommy would want that." Grace didn't respond. She just turned back to the casket and stared, and then she stopped talking. All three of them. At the same time, like they'd made a pact with grief. Marcus threw money at the problem. He hired the best child psychologist from Emory. Mr. Wellington's selective mutism after trauma is not uncommon in children. It may take time. How much time? That varies. Some children recover in weeks. Others take much longer. What can I do? So be patient. Be present. Let them know you're there. But being present meant sitting in that house, surrounded by Evelyn's things, surrounded by her absence, surrounded by silence. Marcus couldn't do it. Specialists flew in from Boston, London, Vienna. He took the girls to Disney World, to the beach house in Hilton Head, to a ranch in Montana. He bought them ponies, built them a custom playground, hired tutors and therapists and nannies. Nothing worked. The girls remained locked inside themselves, holding hands, moving through the house like shadows, silent together. And Marcus, drowning in his own grief, did what his father had taught him to do. He worked. He worked 16-hour days. He closed deals in Tokyo, Dubai, London, Singapore. He built buildings and made millions and told himself he was providing for his family. But he wasn't providing what they needed. He was running. Dorothy Robinson had been the estate manager for 22 years. She'd seen everything. The previous owner's divorce, Marcus and Evelyn's wedding reception in the garden, the triplets' birth announcement party, and now 19 months of silence. One evening, about 6 weeks before Marcus's unexpected return, Dorothy approached him in his study. "Mr. Wellington, may I speak with you?" Marcus didn't look up from his laptop. "What is it, Dorothy?" "I can't manage this alone anymore. The house is too big. The girls need more care than I can provide by myself." "So hire someone." "I'd like your approval first. This person would be spending significant time with your daughters." "Dorothy, I trust your judgment. Hire whoever you need. Just handle it." Dorothy hesitated. "Sir, the girls haven't spoken in 19 months. They need—" "I said handle it." His voice was sharp, final. Dorothy pressed her lips together. "Yes, sir." She turned and walked out. 3 days later, Serena Mitchell walked through the front door. Serena was 32 years old. Born and raised on the west side of Atlanta, about 6 miles and a whole world away from Bankhead, where Marcus grew up. Her mother had been a hospital janitor. Her father left when she was 4. She never heard from him again. Serena raised herself. Raised her younger sister Keisha. Worked 2 jobs through high school. Got a scholarship to Spelman but had to drop out when her mother got sick. She'd been cleaning houses since she was 16. She knew what it meant to be invisible. To walk through rich people's homes and have them look right through you like you weren't even there. But she also knew what it meant to survive. To keep going when everything in you wanted to quit. 2 years ago, her sister Keisha died. Cancer. Diagnosed too late. Gone too fast. Keisha left behind a son. Jalen. 15 years old. Angry at the world. Angry at God. Angry at his mother for leaving him. Serena took him in without hesitation. "I promised your mama," she told him. "I promised I'd take care of you, and I don't break my promises." "I don't need taking care of." "Too bad, you're getting it anyway." She was working toward her degree in early childhood development at Georgia State, taking night classes 3 times a week. She wanted to open her own daycare someday, a place where kids from the West Side could learn and grow and dream. When Dorothy called her about the job, Serena almost said no. "Buckhead, that's a different world." "The pay is excellent, and the hours are flexible." Serena thought about Jalen's basketball camp fees, about her textbooks, about the electric bill that was 3 weeks overdue. "I'll take it." On her first day, Serena saw Marcus once, briefly, in the hallway. He was carrying a briefcase, talking on his phone, moving like a man being chased by something. She nodded politely. He didn't even look at her, but his daughters noticed. Serena was cleaning their playroom when she felt eyes on her. She turned around. 3 identical little girls stood in the doorway, holding hands, staring at her with the biggest, saddest eyes she'd ever seen. "Hey there," Serena said softly. "You must be Grace, Hope, and Faith. I'm Serena. I'm going to be helping Miss Dorothy around the house." The girls didn't respond, didn't move, just stared. Serena felt something twist in her chest. She recognized that look. That hollowed-out nobody's home look. She'd seen it in the mirror after Keisha died. "It's okay, Bill," she said. "You don't have to talk to me. I'm just going to clean up in here. You can stay and watch if you want, or you can go, whatever feels right." She turned back to her work and started humming, an old gospel hymn her grandmother used to sing. "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." She didn't look at the girls, didn't pressure them, just hummed and cleaned and let them be. After about 10 minutes, she heard a sound behind her. Soft, almost imperceptible. She turned around. Grace had taken 3 steps into the room, still holding her sister's hands, still silent, but closer. Serena smiled gently and went back to cleaning. It was a start. In the second week, Serena was organizing the girls' closet when Hope appeared in the doorway. Alone this time. Her sisters weren't with her. Serena kept working, kept humming. "Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me." Hope crept closer, sat down on the floor about 5 feet away. Still silent, but listening. After a while, Serena spoke without turning around. "You know, my grandmother used to sing that song to me when I was scared. She said music has power. It can reach places that words can't." Hope didn't respond. She said, "When you can't find the words to say what you're feeling, sometimes a song can say it for you." Silence. "She was a wise woman, my grandmother. I miss her every day." Serena turned around. Hope was looking at her. Really looking at her. And for just a moment, something flickered in those sad brown eyes. Connection. In the third week, Serena found something on the freshly folded laundry. A crayon drawing. A yellow butterfly. She picked it up. Her hands trembled slightly. She looked up. Faith stood in the doorway, watching. "Did you draw this, sweetheart?" Faith didn't speak, but she nodded. Just once. Serena felt tears burning in her eye. "This is the most beautiful butterfly I've ever seen. Can I keep it?" Another nod. Serena walked over to the wall and taped the drawing up where everyone could see it. "There. Now I can look at it every day. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much." Faith's eyes flickered, her lips trembled, and then so quietly that Serena almost missed it. Faith spoke. "You're welcome." 2 words. The first words Faith had spoken in 19 months. Serena dropped to her knees right there, tears streaming down her face. "Oh, sweet girl. Oh, baby. It's so good to hear your voice." Faith stood frozen for a moment. Then she walked forward, slowly, carefully, like a wild animal approaching something it wasn't sure was safe, and she hugged Serena. Serena wrapped her arms around that little girl and held on tight. "I've got you," she whispered. "I've got you, baby. You're safe." That night, Serena went home and cried for an hour. Jalen found her in the kitchen, wiping her eyes. "Auntie Rena, what's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong, baby. Something's right. Something's finally right." Week by week, the girls opened up. First Faith, then Hope, then Grace. Whispers became sentences. Sentences became conversations. Conversations became laughter. By the 5th week, they were telling Serena about their mother. "Mommy used to sing to us," Grace said one afternoon while Serena braided her hair. "She sang every night before bed." "What did she sing?" "You Are My Sunshine." That was her favorite. "That's a beautiful song." "She said we were her sunshine, all 3 of us. She said we made her happy when skies were gray." Serena's hands stilled in Grace's hair. "Your mommy sounds like she was an amazing woman." "She was," Grace's voice caught. "I miss her so much." "I know, baby, I know." "Do you think she can see us from heaven?" Serena thought about Keisha, about all the nights she'd wondered the same thing. "I believe she can, sweetheart. I believe she's watching over you every single day, and I believe she's so proud of how strong you've been." Grace was quiet for a moment, then she spoke again. "Miss Serena." "Yes, baby." "I'm glad you came here." Serena felt her heart crack open. "I'm glad I came here too, Grace. So glad." By 6 weeks, the girls were singing again. Old Sunday school songs, nursery rhymes, made-up melodies about butterflies and sunshine and a nice lady named Miss Serena. They sang while she folded laundry. They sang while she cooked them lunch. They sang in the garden while she planted flowers. Serena didn't announce it to anyone. She thought about calling Marcus, thought about telling Dorothy to pass along the news, but something held her back. These little girls had been through so much. They'd been poked and prodded by psychiatrists. They'd been examined and analyzed and diagnosed. They'd been treated like problems to be solved. Serena didn't want to make their healing into a spectacle, didn't want to parade their progress in front of their absent father like some kind of trophy. So she just kept showing up, every day, loving them gently, patiently, letting them heal at their own pace. She had no idea that Marcus was about to come home and destroy everything. That night after the explosion, Marcus sat alone in his study. The room was dark except for the lamp on his desk. A glass of bourbon sat untouched beside him. His hands trembled. On the shelf across from him sat a photograph in a silver frame. Evelyn laughing, holding the girls when they were babies. All three of them wrapped in her arms. "What have I done, Evelyn?" Marcus's voice cracked. "What the hell have I done?" A soft knock at the door. "Mr. Wellington." Dorothy's voice gentle but firm. "May I come in?" "Yeah." She entered slowly, closing the door behind her. She didn't sit down, just stood there, arms crossed, looking at him, in the way his mother used to look at him when he'd done something shameful. "We need to talk about what happened today. I know I overreacted. I know I was too harsh. I'll apologize to her tomorrow." "It's not that simple, Mr. Wellington." Marcus looked up. "What do you mean? Your daughters were talking, sir." "I know. I saw them. That's what this whole thing—" No." Dorothy shook her head slowly. "You don't understand. It wasn't just today." Marcus felt something cold crawl up his spine. "What are you talking about?" "They've been talking for 6 weeks." The bourbon glass slipped from Marcus's hand. It shattered on the hardwood floor. He didn't move to clean it. 6 weeks. "Yes, sir. Full sentences, stories, songs, laughter. Serena brought them back, little by little, every single day." "That's not possible. I would have known. Someone would have told me." "Would they, sir? Would you have listened?" Marcus opened his mouth to respond, then closed it. "You call once a week," Dorothy continued, "for exactly 15 minutes. You ask how the girls are doing. I tell you they're fine. You say good and hang up. That's the extent of your involvement. I've been working, building the business, providing for them. They don't need your money, Mr. Wellington. They need you. Don't lecture me, Dorothy. You work for me. Yes, I do, and I've worked for this family for 22 years. I held those girls when they were born. I watched them take their first steps. I was here when their mother died, and I've been here every day since." Her voice hardened. "So yes, I work for you, but someone needs to tell you the truth, and apparently I'm the only one willing to do it." Marcus sat in stunned silence. Dorothy stepped closer. "Those girls trusted Serena. They opened up to her. After 19 months of silence, they finally found their voices again. And you? I didn't know. You should have known. You should have been here. You should have been the one singing with them in that kitchen. But you weren't, and when you finally showed up, instead of being grateful, you destroyed it. I was confused. I saw them with her, and I felt—" "You felt jealous." Marcus flinched. "You felt replaced. You felt like a stranger had done what you couldn't do. And instead of dealing with that feeling like an adult, you lashed out at the one person who actually helped your children. I made a mistake. You made a catastrophe." Dorothy's voice was ice cold now. "Those girls watched you fire the woman who brought them back to life. They watched you humiliate her. They watched you prove that love is dangerous, that opening up is dangerous, that trusting someone only leads to pain." Marcus felt like he was going to be sick. "What do I do, Dorothy? How do I fix this?" "I don't know if you can, sir, but you better try, because right now those 3 little girls are in their bedroom holding hands, staring at nothing, just like before. They're not talking. Not a word, not since Serena left." Marcus buried his face in his hands. "Oh God, oh God." "Serena's nephew called about an hour ago. He said she's not coming back. He said she never wants to see you again." "I have to talk to her. I have to explain." "She doesn't want to hear from you." "I don't care what she wants. I need her. My daughters need her." Dorothy studied him for a long moment. "Then you need to find a way to change her mind, because without her, I don't know if those girls will ever speak again." The next morning, Marcus had Dorothy arrange a meeting with Serena before she left the property to collect her final paycheck. She entered his office quietly. Her head was down. Her hands were clasped in front of her. "Sit down, Serena." She sat on the edge of the chair, back straight, waiting. Marcus cleared his throat. "I want to apologize for yesterday. What I said, how I spoke to you, was completely out of line. I didn't know the girls had been talking for 6 weeks. Dorothy told me last night." Serena said nothing. You weren't being inappropriate. You were caring for them in a way I clearly couldn't, and I'm truly sorry." Serena looked up then. Her eyes were calm, clear, but there was fire behind them. "May I speak freely, Mr. Wellington?" "Of course." "You didn't just fire me yesterday." Marcus blinked. "You humiliated me in front of 3 little girls who trusted me. You showed them that people like me don't matter, that when a rich man gets confused or scared, he hurts people who can't fight back." "Serena." "I wasn't finished." Marcus closed his mouth. "I've been cleaning houses since I was 16 years old. I've been talked down to overlooked, treated like furniture. I'm used to that. I've developed a thick skin." Her voice dropped. "But those girls, those sweet, broken, beautiful girls, they became my heart, Mr. Wellington. Do you understand what I'm saying? They became my heart." Her eyes were wet now, but her voice was steady. "They let me in. After 19 months of silence, they trusted me enough to speak again. They told me about their mother. They told me about their fears. They told me they were scared their daddy didn't love them anymore because he was never home." Marcus felt like he'd been stabbed. "And then you walked in, and you proved them right." "That's not fair. Isn't it? You fired the woman they loved. You showed them that love gets punished. You showed them that opening up is dangerous, that trusting someone only leads to pain. I made a mistake. I was jealous and confused, and I took it out on you. Yes, you did, and those 3 little girls paid the price." Serena stood up. "I know my place, Mr. Wellington. I'm the housekeeper. I clean. I fold laundry. I'm not their mother. I'm not their family. But I love them anyway. And you broke that. Right in front of them. Serena, please. I'm not coming back." The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. "Not because you fired me. Because I can't stay in a place where love gets punished. I won't do that to myself, and I won't do that to them." She walked toward the door. Marcus jumped up from his chair. "Wait, please. My daughters need you." Serena turned her hand on the doorknob. "Your daughters need their father, Mr. Wellington. Maybe start there." "I don't know how. I don't know how to reach them." "Then learn. You're a billionaire. You've built an empire from nothing. Surely you can figure out how to be a father." "It's not that simple." "No, it's not. But that's the job, Mr. Wellington. That's what you signed up for when you had children, and right now you're failing at it." She opened the door. "Goodbye, sir. I hope you figure it out, for their sake." The door closed softly behind her. Marcus sank back into his chair. He sat there for an hour, staring at nothing. Then he got up, walked to the playroom, and found his daughters sitting in a circle on the floor, holding hands, staring at the wall, just like before. He knelt down in front of them. "Hey, girls." "Nothing. I want you to know that I'm sorry. About yesterday, about scaring you, about Miss Serena." "Nothing. I'm going to try to bring her back. I promise. I'm going to try." Grace looked up at him as her eyes were empty. "She's not coming back," Grace said. Her voice was flat, dead. "Nobody ever comes back." Then she looked away and didn't speak again. Marcus drove his Bentley into the west side of Atlanta. He hadn't been to this part of town in 30 years. Not since he'd escaped. Not since he'd become someone else. The streets looked the same. Modest apartment buildings, corner stores with iron bars, kids playing on cracked sidewalks, old men sitting on porches. He parked in front of a weathered apartment complex, climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor. He knocked. A teenage boy opened the door. Tall, broad-shouldered, maybe 15 or 16. He had Serena's eyes and a jaw set hard with anger. The boy looked Marcus up and down. The expensive suit, the Rolex, the polished shoes. "Yeah? I'm looking for Serena Mitchell. I need to speak with her." "Who are you?" "My name is Marcus Wellington. I know who you are." The boy's voice was ice. "You're the guy who made my aunt cry." "I made a mistake. I need to apologize." "She doesn't want to see you." "Please, just 5 minutes." "No." "Son, I'm begging you." "I'm not your son." The boy stepped forward, his chest puffed out. "My aunt is a good person, the best person I know. She works 2 jobs. She goes to school at night. She took me in when my mama died, even though she could barely take care of herself." His voice cracked with emotion. "And you made her cry. You embarrassed her in front of little kids. You treated her like she was nothing." "I know. That's why I'm here. To make it right." You can't make it right. Some things can't be fixed with money, rich man. I'm not offering money, I'm offering an apology. She doesn't want your apology. Then what does she want? The boy stared at him for a long moment. She wants to be left alone. She wants to forget about you and your big fancy house and your sad little girls. She wants to move on. I can't let her do that. My daughters need her. Your daughters need their father. That's what Aunt Rena said. She said you're never home. She said those girls are raising themselves while you fly around the world making money. Marcus felt the words like blows. She's right, and I'm trying to change, but I need help. I need Serena. Too bad. The boy started to close the door. Wait. Marcus put his hand out. Just tell her I was here. Tell her I'm sorry. Tell her my daughters miss her. The boy paused. She knows they miss her. She talks about them all the time. She cries about them at night when she thinks I'm asleep. Marcus's heart clenched. Then why won't she come back? Because she's afraid, man. She's afraid if she goes back, you'll just hurt her again. She's afraid to love those girls any more than she already does, because loving them means trusting you, and she doesn't trust you. Nobody should trust you. The door closed. Marcus stood in the hallway, staring at the peeling paint. He'd never been rejected like this, never had a door slammed in his face. In his world, money opened everything. Money made people listen. Here it meant nothing. He knocked again. No answer. He knocked harder. The door flew open. The boy again, angrier now. I said leave. Just tell me when she'll be home. I'll come back. She won't talk to you. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Get it through your head. I can't accept that. You don't have a choice. There's always a choice. There's always a way. I didn't build a $400 million company by accepting no for an answer. The boy laughed, but there was no humor in it. This isn't business, Mr. Wellington. This is real life, and in real life, sometimes no means no. He leaned closer. My aunt deserves better than you. Your daughters deserve better than you, and until you figure out how to be the man they need, stay the hell away from my family. The door slammed shut. Marcus drove home in silence. When he walked through the front door, Dorothy was waiting. She won't see me, Marcus said. Her nephew is protecting her. I heard. He called after you left. What do I do, Dorothy? I've never been in a situation I couldn't buy or negotiate my way out of. Maybe that's the problem, sir. Maybe you've been treating everything like a transaction, including your children. Marcus looked at her. When's the last time you spent a full day with your daughters? Not an hour, not a quick breakfast before a meeting. A full day. Marcus tried to remember. He couldn't. When's the last time you read them a bedtime story? He couldn't remember that either. When's the last time you told them you loved them? The funeral. He'd told them at the funeral, 19 months ago. Oh God, he whispered. Oh God. Maybe instead of chasing Serena, you should start by being a father. Show your daughters you can show up. Prove to them you're not going anywhere. And maybe, just maybe, that will mean something. Marcus nodded slowly. You're right. I need to be here. I need to focus on them. There's something else you should know, sir. What? The girls have been leaving drawings under Grace's pillow every night before bed. Dorothy had the night maid bring them to me. She handed him a stack of crayon drawings. Yellow butterflies, rainbows, hearts with stick figures holding hands. And at the bottom of the stack, a folded piece of paper. Marcus opened it. The words were written in crayon, big and uneven. Dear Miss Serena, please come back. We miss you. We love you. We will be good. We promise. Love, grace, and hope, and faith. Marcus's hands started shaking. They wrote this every night. They've been writing letters and drawing pictures, hoping she'll come back. Tears streamed down Marcus's face. I did this. I destroyed them. Yes, you did. Dorothy's voice was matter-of-fact. And now you have to undo it, whatever it takes. Marcus looked at the drawings in his hands. 3 little girls praying for a woman to come back. A woman he'd driven away. He stood up. I'm going back tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. I'm not giving up until she agrees to see me. She may never agree. Then I'll keep trying, because my daughters are worth it, and because I made a promise. A promise to who? Marcus looked at the photograph on the shelf. Evelyn smiling. Evelyn holding their babies. To their mother. I promised her I would be there. I promised her I would show up. Every single day. He wiped his eyes. I broke that promise, but I'm not broken, not yet, and I'm going to fight for my family, even if it takes everything I have. Dorothy studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Good. Because those girls need a fighter, sir. They need someone who won't give up on them. I won't. I swear to God I won't. Don't swear to God. Swear to them. Show them. Every single day. Marcus nodded. Starting now. He took the drawings and walked upstairs to the girls' bedroom. They were sitting on Grace's bed, holding hands, silent. He sat down on the floor in front of them. I found your drawings. No response. The ones you made for Miss Serena. Hope's eyes flickered. I'm going to take them to her, tomorrow. I'm going to show her how much you love her, and I'm going to beg her to come back. Grace looked up. She won't come back. You made her cry. I know I did, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to make it right. How? I don't know yet, but I'm going to figure it out, I promise. Faith's lip trembled. You promise a lot of things, Daddy. Marcus felt those words like a knife. I know, baby. I know I've let you down, but I'm going to change. Starting right now. I'm going to be here. Every day. I'm going to show up. Grace's voice was flat. For how long? Forever. That's what Mommy said. And then she left. Marcus's heart shattered. Mommy didn't choose to leave Baby. She didn't want to go. It was an accident. But she's still gone. I know. And you left too. You went to work and you never came back. I came back. I'm here right now. But tomorrow you'll leave again. You always leave. Marcus took a deep breath. Not anymore. I'm canceling my trips. All of them. I'm staying home. I'm going to be here for breakfast. I'm going to be here for dinner. I'm going to be here for bedtime stories and morning hugs and everything in between. The girls stared at him, unconvinced, waiting for him to prove it. I love you, Marcus said. I love you more than my business, more than my buildings, more than all the money in the world, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life showing you. He reached out his hands. For a long moment, none of them moved. Then Faith reached out, her small fingers wrapped around his, and she held on. Faith's small fingers wrapped around his, and she held on. But Grace and Hope didn't move. They sat frozen, watching their sister reach for the father who had failed them so many times before. Marcus didn't push. He just held Faith's hand and waited. 1 minute passed, then 2. Finally, Hope's hand twitched. She looked at Grace as if asking permission. Grace stared straight ahead, her jaw tight, her eyes empty. Hope pulled her hand back. I'm tired, Grace said flatly. We want to go to sleep now. Marcus felt the rejection like a physical blow, but he nodded. Okay, baby. I'll be right down the hall if you need anything. He stood up slowly, still holding Faith's hand. She didn't let go. Faith, sweetie, you need to get some rest. Faith shook her head. Her grip tightened. I don't want you to leave. Marcus's throat closed up. I'm not leaving. I'm just going to my room. I'll be right here in the morning. Promise. I promise. You promised before. I know, but this time is different. How do I know? Marcus knelt back down so he was eye level with her. Because I'm going to prove it, every single day, starting tomorrow morning. I'm going to be here when you wake up. I'm going to make you breakfast, and I'm going to keep doing that until you believe me. Faith studied his face for a long moment. Then she let go of his hand. Okay, Daddy. She climbed into bed next to her sisters. Grace pulled the covers up without looking at Marcus. Hope lay down and closed her eyes immediately. Marcus stood in the doorway watching them. 3 little girls, his whole world, and he'd almost lost them forever. Good night, he whispered. I love you. No response. He turned off the light and walked to his bedroom. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Marcus was in the kitchen at 6 a.m. He stared at the stove like it was a foreign object. He hadn't cooked anything in years. Evelyn had always handled breakfast, then the nannies, then Dorothy. He opened the refrigerator, eggs, milk, butter. He could do this. He cracked an egg into a pan. The shell shattered and pieces fell into the yolk. Damn it! He tried again. Same result. Dorothy appeared in the doorway. Mr. Wellington, what are you doing? Making breakfast. Would you like some help? No, I need to do this myself. Dorothy watched him struggle for another minute. Eggshells everywhere. Butter burning in the pan. Sir, with respect, if you serve that to the girls, they'll think you're trying to poison them. Marcus looked at the mess he'd made. Fine. Show me how. Dorothy walked him through it step by step. Crack the egg on a flat surface. Use a gentle hand. Keep the heat medium-low. By 7 a.m., he had 3 plates of scrambled eggs that were actually edible. Not good, but edible. The girls came downstairs at 7:30. They stopped in the kitchen doorway when they saw Marcus standing there with a spatula. "Good morning," he said. "I made breakfast." Grace looked at the plates suspiciously. "Where's Dorothy?" "She's here, but I wanted to cook for you today." "You don't cook." "I'm learning." Hope sat down at the table cautiously. She picked up her fork and poked at the eggs. "They look weird." "They taste fine, I promise." Faith sat down next to Hope and took a bite. "They're crunchy." That's the texture. "Eggs aren't supposed to be crunchy, Daddy." Marcus sighed. "I know, I'll do better tomorrow." Grace hadn't moved from the doorway. "You're going to do this tomorrow, too?" "Yes." "And the day after?" "Yes." "For how long?" "Forever, Grace. I told you, I'm not going anywhere." Grace walked slowly to the table. She sat down. She didn't touch her food. "I'll believe it when I see it." Marcus nodded. "That's fair." They ate in silence. The eggs were terrible, but the girls finished most of their plates. When they were done, Marcus collected the dishes. "What do you want to do today?" he asked. The girls looked at each other. "We usually do lessons in the morning," Hope said quietly. "Then we play in the playroom. Then we have lunch. Then quiet time." "What about fun stuff, Parks Movies ice cream?" "We don't do that anymore." "Why not?" Grace's voice was flat. "Because nobody takes us." Marcus felt the weight of those words settle on his shoulders. "Well, I'm taking you, today, wherever you want to go." Faith's eyes lit up for just a moment. "The zoo. The zoo it is." "Really? Really? Get your shoes on, we're leaving in 30 minutes. The girls scrambled out of their chairs. For the first time in days, Marcus saw something that almost looked like excitement on their faces. Dorothy appeared beside him as he watched them run upstairs. "That was good, sir." "The eggs were terrible." "The eggs don't matter. You showed up. That's what matters." Marcus nodded slowly. "I'm going to keep showing up, every day, until they believe me." "And Serena?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "I'm going back to her apartment this afternoon, after the zoo." "Her nephew was very clear about not wanting to see you." "I don't care. I'll stand outside that door every day if I have to. I'm not giving up." Dorothy studied him for a long moment. "You know, sir, I've worked for you for 22 years, and this is the first time I've ever seen you fight for something that doesn't have a dollar sign attached to it." "What do you mean?" "I mean you've always been a fighter, but only for business, only for money, only for things that could be measured and counted. Your family was never a priority, not really. Evelyn held everything together, and when she died, you just kept running because you didn't know how to do what she did." Marcus looked away. "I know. But now you're learning, and that matters. It matters more than you know." The drive to Zoo Atlanta took 45 minutes. Marcus couldn't remember the last time he'd been in a car with all three girls. Usually there was a driver. Usually there was somewhere he needed to be. Today there was nowhere else he needed to be. Faith sat in the middle of the back seat with Grace on one side and Hope on the other. They held hands like they always did. "Daddy," Faith's voice was small. "Yes, baby. Are you really staying home now?" "Yes." "What about your buildings?" "Other people can take care of them." "But you love your buildings." Marcus looked at her in the rearview mirror. "I love you more, all three of you. I love you more than any building in the world." Faith was quiet for a moment. "Then how come you were always gone?" The question hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. "Because I was scared, baby. After Mommy died, I didn't know how to be here without her. Everything reminded me of her. Every room, every corner. Every time I looked at you girls, I saw her face, and it hurt so much that I couldn't breathe." He gripped the steering wheel tighter. "So I ran. I went to work because work didn't hurt. Work made sense. Work had rules I could follow. But being a daddy without Mommy to help me, that was something I didn't know how to do." Grace spoke for the first time since they got in the car. "You could have tried." "You're right. I should have tried, and I'm sorry I didn't. I'm sorry I left you alone when you needed me most." "We weren't alone. We had each other." "I know, and I'm grateful for that. You three have always taken care of each other, but you shouldn't have had to. That was my job, and I failed you." Hope's voice was barely a whisper. "Do you still love us, Daddy?" Marcus pulled the car over to the side of the road. He turned around in his seat so he could look at all three of them. "Listen to me, all three of you. I have never not for one single second stopped loving you. You are the most important things in my life. More important than money. More important than work. More important than anything." His voice broke. "I know I haven't shown it. I know I've been a terrible father. But my love for you has never wavered. Not once. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving it to you." Faith's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too, Daddy." "I know, baby. I know." Grace's face was still hard. "Words are easy. Actions are hard." "You're right. So watch my actions. Starting today. Starting right now." He turned back around and pulled the car back onto the road. The zoo was crowded, but Marcus didn't care. He bought tickets. Held hands answered 1,000 questions about animals he knew nothing about. Why do flamingos stand on one leg? I don't know, Hope, maybe because they can. That's not a real answer. You're right, let's look it up. They spent an hour at the reptile house because Faith was fascinated by snakes. They spent another hour at the panda exhibit because Grace refused to leave until she saw the baby panda wake up. By lunchtime, Marcus's feet ached and his legs were tired, and he hadn't checked his phone once. It was the best day he'd had in years. They ate hot dogs and cotton candy on a bench near the carousel. The girls sat on either side of him, leaning against his shoulders. "Daddy?" Faith said through a mouthful of cotton candy. "Yeah, baby. This is the best day ever." Marcus felt tears burning in his eyes. "For me too, sweetheart. For me too." But he couldn't stop thinking about Serena. Every time the girls laughed, he thought about how Serena had been the one to unlock those laughs. Every time they spoke, he remembered that they'd been silent for 19 months before she came. He had to get her back, not just for them, for himself. He needed to understand what she had done, how she had reached them when no one else could, what magic she possessed that he so desperately lacked. At 2 p.m., Marcus drove the girls home. They were exhausted, sugar-crashed, ready for quiet time. "I have to go out for a little while," he told them, as Dorothy shepherded them upstairs. Grace's face fell. "You said you were staying." "I am staying. I just need to do something important. I'll be back before dinner, I promise." "You promised before." "I know, but this time I'm keeping it. Dorothy can tell you I haven't broken a promise since your mother died. Not one." He looked at Dorothy. "Tell them." Dorothy nodded slowly. "Your father may have many faults, but he does keep his promises. When he says he'll be back, he'll be back." Grace didn't look convinced, but she let Dorothy lead her upstairs. Marcus drove back to the west side, back to Serena's apartment. He climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor and knocked. No answer. He knocked again. The door opened. Jalen stood there, his expression hard. "I told you not to come back." "I know, but I had to." "She's not here." "Where is she?" "None of your business." "Please, I need to talk to her." Jalen stepped forward, getting in Marcus's face. "What part of a no don't you understand? You rich people think you can have whatever you want. You think money solves everything, but it doesn't solve this. I'm not trying to buy her. I'm trying to apologize." "She doesn't want your apology." "Then what does she want?" "She wants to be left alone." "I can't do that. My daughters need her." Jalen's voice rose. "Your daughters need their father. That's what she keeps saying. Every night at dinner she says the same thing. Those girls don't need me. They need their daddy to step up. She talks about them. All the time. She can't stop talking about them. Grace's stubbornness, Hope's curiosity, Faith's singing. She talks about them like they're her own kids." Marcus felt his heart clench. "Then why won't she come back?" "Because of you, because she doesn't trust you, because she's afraid you'll just hurt her again, hurt them again." "I won't. I've changed." "Have you?" "It's been 2 days. You think that's enough time to change?" "No, but I'm trying. Every day I'm trying." Jalen studied him for a long moment. "My aunt lost her sister 2 years ago. My mama. She died of cancer, left me behind. Aunt Rena took me in even though she could barely afford her own rent. She works 2 jobs. She goes to school at night. She dreams about opening a daycare someday." His voice softened just slightly. "She's the strongest person I know. And your girls reminded her why she wanted to work with kids in the first place, because she could reach them, because she could help them heal." "She did help them heal. And then you took that away from her." Marcus lowered his head. "I know. That's why I'm here. To make it right." Jalen was quiet for a long moment. "She gets off work at 6. She's at the day spa on Cascade Road, cleaning." Marcus looked up. "Thank you." Don't thank me. Just don't mess this up again, because if you hurt her one more time, you'll have to deal with me, and I don't care how much money you have." "Understood." Marcus turned to leave. "Hey." He looked back. Jalen's expression was still hard, but something in his eyes had shifted. "Those girls, are they okay?" "They're getting better, slowly. Tell them Aunt Rena misses them. She won't say it, but I know she does." "I will." Marcus walked down the stairs. He had an address. He had a time. Now he just had to find the right words. At 5:30, Marcus parked outside the day spa on Cascade Road. It was a modest building in a strip mall. Not the kind of place his wife used to go. Not the kind of place he'd ever set foot in before. He waited. At 6:15, the back door opened. Serena walked out wearing cleaning scrubs, her hair pulled back, her face tired. She stopped when she saw him standing by his car. "Mr. Wellington?" "Serena?" "How did you find me here?" "Your nephew." Her jaw tightened. "I told him not to talk to you." "He's protective of you, but he's also protective of my daughters. He said you talk about them all the time." Serena didn't respond. "He said you miss them." Still nothing. "I brought something to show you." Marcus reached into his jacket and pulled out the stack of drawings. "The girls have been making these every night. For you. Dorothy found them under Grace's pillow." "That to me?" Serena's face flickered, but she didn't move. Marcus spread the drawings out on the hood of his car. "This one is from Faith. It's a yellow butterfly. She said butterflies remind her of her mother. And of you." He pointed to another one. "This is from Hope. A rainbow. She said you told her that rainbows are God's promise that things will get better." And another. "This is from Grace. A heart with stick figures. That's you in the middle. That's the three of them around you." Serena's eyes were wet now, but she still didn't move. Marcus unfolded the letter. "And this? They wrote this together. Dear Miss Serena, please come back. We miss you. We love you. We will be good. We promise." His voice broke. "They think you left because of something they did. They think if they're good enough, you'll come back." A tear slipped down Serena's cheek. "That's not why I left." "I know. You left because of me, because I was cruel and jealous, and I took out my own failures on you." "Yes?" "And you had every right to leave. I don't blame you, but my daughters, they don't understand that. They just know the person they loved is gone. Again." Serena wiped her eyes. "You think I don't know that. You think I don't think about them every single day I hear Faith's giggle in my sleep. I see Hope's curious eyes every time I close mine. I feel Grace's hand in my hair when she used to watch me braid." Her voice rose. "Those girls became my heart, Mr. Wellington, and walking away from them was the hardest thing I've ever done. Harder than burying my sister. Harder than anything." "Then come back." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because I don't trust you." The words hung in the air between them. "You hurt me. You humiliated me. In front of those children, you showed them that love is dangerous, that people who care about them will be punished." "I know, and I'm trying to undo that." "How?" "By showing up at my job, by tracking me down like I'm some kind of business deal you need to close." "No, by changing, by being there, by doing the work." "What work?" "This morning I made breakfast. It was terrible. The girls said the eggs were crunchy, but I made it, with my own hands. And I'm going to do it again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that." Serena stared at him. "I took them to the zoo today. I held their hands. I answered 1,000 questions about animals. I ate cotton candy until I felt sick, and it was the best day I've had in 2 years." "One day doesn't mean anything." "You're right. One day means nothing. But one day plus another day plus another day that starts to add up. That starts to mean something." He took a step closer. "I'm not asking you to trust me, Serena. I know I haven't earned that. I'm asking you to give me a chance to earn it, to watch me, to see if I'm really changing." "And what if you're not? What if this is just another performance? What if you go back to your old ways as soon as things get hard?" "Then you leave, and you never look back, and I'll understand." Serena was quiet for a long moment. "My nephew told me something," she finally said. "He said those girls need their father, not me, their father. They need both of us." "No, they need you. I was just filling a gap that you left." "That's not true. What you did for them, I couldn't have done that. I don't know how to reach them the way you did." "You could learn?" "That's what I'm asking. Teach me. Show me what you did. Show me how to be the father they need." Serena shook her head slowly. It's not something I can teach. It's not a formula. It's not a business plan. Then what is it? It's presence. It's patience. It's showing up even when you're tired, even when you don't know what to say, even when they push you away. I can do that. Can you really? Because for 19 months you ran. Every time it got hard, you ran. To Singapore, to Dubai, to anywhere but home. I know, but I'm done running. How do I know that? Because I'm here. Right now, standing in a parking lot, begging a woman I barely know to save my family. That's not something the old Marcus would do. The old Marcus would have thrown money at the problem and hoped it went away. Serena studied his face. You really have changed. I'm trying to. Trying isn't the same as doing. I know, but it's a start. Silence stretched between them. Those drawings, Serena finally said. Can I see them again? Marcus handed her the stack. She looked through them slowly, one by one. Her hands trembled. Tears streamed down her face. When she got to the letter, she pressed it to her chest. Oh, my babies, my sweet babies. They love you, Serena. They love you so much. I love them too, more than I ever thought possible. Then come back, please, not for me, for them. Serena looked at the letter again. We will be good, we promise. Her voice broke. They don't need to be good. They don't need to earn anything. They just need to be loved. I know, and I'm trying to show them that, but I need help. I need you. Serena was quiet for a long time. Then she looked up at him. Did look up at him. I'm not saying yes. Marcus's heart sank. But I'm not saying no either. Hope flickered in his chest. What are you saying? I'm saying I need time. I need to think. I need to pray about this. How much time? I don't know, a few days, maybe a week. Okay, whatever you need. And I need you to do something for me. Anything. I need you to prove it, not with words, with actions. I need you to show those girls that you're not going anywhere, every single day, no matter how hard it gets. I will. And I need you to stop calling me. Stop showing up at my apartment. Stop tracking me down. If I decide to come back, I'll come to you, but I need space to make that decision. Okay? Serena handed the drawings back to him. Keep those, show them to the girls, tell them I saw them. Tell them I cried when I read them. I will. She started to walk away, then stopped. Mr. Wellington? Yes. If I come back, things will be different. I won't just be the housekeeper. I won't just clean and fold laundry and stay in my lane. I know. I'll be in your daughters' lives, really in their lives. And that means I'll have opinions about how you raise them, about the choices you make. I won't be quiet when I think you're wrong. I wouldn't want you to be. She nodded slowly. Good night, Mr. Wellington. Good night, Serena. She walked to her car and drove away. Marcus stood in the parking lot for a long time, holding the drawings, watching her taillights disappear. It wasn't a yes, but it wasn't a no. And right now, that was enough. He drove home. When he walked through the front door, the girls were waiting at the top of the stairs. Daddy! Faith ran down and threw herself into his arms. You came back? I told you I would. Grace and Hope followed more slowly. Grace's face was still guarded, but there was something different in her eyes. Something that almost looked like hope. Did you find Miss Serena? Hope asked quietly. I did. Is she coming back? Marcus knelt down so he was eye level with all three of them. She's thinking about it. She needs some time. Faith's face fell. But she's not saying no, Marcus added quickly. She just needs to make sure it's the right decision. How long will she think about it? A few days, maybe a week. Grace crossed her arms. What if she says no, Then we'll be sad, but we'll still have each other, and I'll still be here, every single day. You promise. I promise. Grace studied his face for a long moment. Then she did something she hadn't done in months. She hugged him. Marcus wrapped his arms around her and pulled her close. Faith and Hope joined in, all four of them, tangled together in the foyer. I love you, Marcus whispered. I love you all so much. We love you too, Daddy, Faith said. And for the first time, Grace said it too. I love you, Daddy. Marcus held them tighter. It wasn't fixed. Not yet. There was still so much work to do, so much trust to rebuild, so many broken pieces to put back together. But they were trying, and sometimes trying is enough. The week that followed was the hardest of Marcus's life. Every morning he woke up before dawn. He made breakfast, eggs one day, pancakes the next, French toast, oatmeal. Each day, the food got a little better. "These pancakes are actually good, Daddy," Hope said on day 3. "Don't sound so surprised." "I am surprised. You couldn't even make toast last week." Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. It felt strange coming out of his mouth. After breakfast, he spent the mornings with the girls, reading, playing, talking. Sometimes they sat in silence, and that was okay too. He was learning that presence didn't always mean activity. Sometimes it just meant being there. In the afternoons, they explored. The park one day, the aquarium the next, a movie theater, an ice cream shop. Normal things, simple things. Things Marcus had never made time for before. "Daddy, can we do this again tomorrow?" Faith asked after their third trip to the park. "We can do this every day if you want." "Really? Really, I'm not going anywhere." Faith's smile was like sunshine breaking through clouds. But the nights were hard. Every night, Marcus tucked the girls into bed. He read stories. He sang songs badly. He stayed until they fell asleep. And every night, he caught himself reaching for his phone, checking emails, reading reports, old habits dying hard. On day 4, Grace caught him. "You're looking at your phone." Marcus froze. "I was just checking something quick. You said you were staying present." "I know, you're right." He put the phone in his pocket. "I'm sorry, old habits. Mommy used to say you loved your phone more than us." The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. "She said that, not to us, but we heard her say it to you one night. She said you were missing our childhood because you couldn't put down your phone." Marcus felt tears burning in his eyes. "She was right, and I'm going to do better." He pulled the phone out of his pocket and handed it to Grace. "Here, keep this for me. Hide it somewhere I can't find it." Grace's eyes widened. "Really?" "Really, I don't need it. All I need is right here in this room." Grace took the phone slowly, like she couldn't quite believe what was happening. "What about your work?" "Dorothy can handle anything urgent. The rest can wait." Grace looked at the phone in her hands, then she looked at her father, and she smiled. Really smiled. For the first time in 19 months. "Okay, Daddy, I'll hide it good. I'm counting on it." That night, Marcus slept better than he had in years. On day 6, Dorothy approached him in the study. "Sir, there's a problem." Marcus looked up from the book he was reading. "What kind of problem?" "The Henderson deal, the one in Birmingham. The investors are threatening to pull out if you don't meet with them personally." "Tell them no." "Sir, it's a $40 million deal." "I don't care." Dorothy stared at him. "You don't care about $40 million. I care about my daughters more. Tell the investors I'm unavailable. If they want to pull out, let them pull out." "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life." Dorothy nodded slowly. "Yes, sir." She turned to leave, then stopped. "For what it's worth, sir, I think Evelyn would be proud of you right now." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "I hope so. I really hope so." On day 7, the Marcus woke up to find Faith standing beside his bed. "Daddy, wake up." He opened his eyes. "What time is it?" "Early, but there's someone at the door." Marcus sat up. His heart started racing. "Who?" "I don't know. Dorothy told me to come get you." He jumped out of bed, threw on a robe, and hurried downstairs. Dorothy stood in the foyer. Her face was unreadable. "Who is it?" Marcus asked. "See for yourself." He walked to the front door and opened it. Serena stood on the porch. She was wearing a simple blue dress. Her hair was down. Her eyes were red like she'd been crying. "Serena?" "Mr. Wellington." "You're here." "I'm here." "Does this mean—" She held up her hand. "Before I say anything, I need you to know something. Okay? I didn't come back for you. I came back for those girls. They're the only reason I'm standing here. I understand? And there are going to be rules, boundaries, things that need to change. Whatever you need. I mean it. This isn't negotiable. If you cross a line, if you hurt those girls again, I'm gone, and I won't come back." "I understand." Serena studied his face for a long moment. Then she took a deep breath. "Okay, I'm coming back." Marcus felt his knees go weak with relief. Thank you, Serena." "Don't thank me yet. We have a lot of work to do." "I know, and I'm ready." Serena looked past him into the house. "Are they awake?" "Faith is. The others are probably still sleeping." "Can I see them?" "Of course." Marcus stepped aside. Serena walked into the house. And upstairs, Faith was watching from the top of the stairs. Her eyes went wide, her mouth fell open, and then she screamed. "Miss Serena!" She flew down the stairs so fast Marcus was afraid she'd fall. She launched herself at Serena with enough force to knock a smaller woman over. Serena caught her, held her tight, buried her face in Faith's hair. "Oh, my baby. Oh, my sweet girl. You came back. You came back. I knew you would." "I'm here, sweetheart. I'm here." Grace and Hope appeared at the top of the stairs. Their faces were frozen in disbelief. "Miss Serena," Hope's voice was barely a whisper. "Come here, babies. Come here." They ran, all three of them together, tangled up in Serena's arms, crying, laughing, holding on like they'd never let go. Marcus watched from the doorway. His eyes were wet. His heart was full. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. But for the first time in 19 months, Marcus believed that things might actually be okay. Not just okay, better than before, because now he understood what really mattered. Not money, not buildings, not deals, family, love, presents, and the courage to change. They ran, all three of them together, tangled up in Serena's arms, crying, laughing, holding on like they'd never let go. And Marcus watched from the doorway, tears streaming down his face, knowing that this moment was worth more than every dollar he'd ever earned. But Serena pulled back after a long embrace. She wiped the girls' faces gently, one by one. "Listen to me, babies. I need you to understand something." The girls went quiet, their eyes fixed on her face. "I came back because I love you, but things are going to be different now. Your daddy and I are going to work together to take care of you. That means you need to listen to both of us, and you need to give your daddy a chance. Can you do that?" Faith nodded immediately. Hope nodded too. Grace hesitated. "Grace," Serena's voice was gentle but firm, "I need you to hear me. Your daddy made mistakes, big ones, but he's trying to change. I've been watching him all week. He showed up every single day. He made you breakfast. He took you places. He stayed." "I know," Grace whispered. "Then give him a chance. The same chance you gave me." Grace looked at her father. Marcus held his breath. "Okay," she finally said. "I'll try." Marcus felt his heart crack open. "Thank you, baby. That's all I'm asking." Serena stood up and turned to face him. "We need to talk, privately." "Of course. Dorothy, can you—" "I'll take the girls to the kitchen for breakfast," Dorothy said. "Come on, sweethearts. Let's give the grown-ups some time." The girls went reluctantly looking back over their shoulders as they walked away. Faith waved at Serena. Serena waved back. When they were gone, Serena's expression changed. "Close the door." Marcus closed it. "Sit down." He sat. Serena remained standing. She paced back and forth. Her arms crossed her jaw tight. "I need you to understand what you're asking of me." "I think I do." "No, you don't." She stopped pacing and looked at him directly. "I walked away from those girls because you broke something inside me. You didn't just fire me. You made me feel like I was nothing. Like everything I'd done for your daughters meant nothing. I know, and I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough. Sorry is just a word. I need to know that you understand what you did. Really understand." Marcus took a deep breath. "I was jealous. I saw my daughters happy with you, and instead of being grateful, I felt replaced. I felt like a failure. And instead of dealing with those feelings like an adult, I lashed out at you. Why? Because it was easier than facing the truth. The truth that I'd abandoned my children. The truth that a stranger had done what I couldn't do. The truth that I'd been running from my grief for 19 months instead of helping them through theirs." Serena's expression softened slightly. "Keep going. I was raised to believe that money solves everything, that if you work hard enough, you can buy your way out of any problem. But you can't buy your way out of grief. You can't buy your way into your children's hearts. I had to learn that the hard way." "And what did you learn?" "That presence matters more than presents. That showing up matters more than writing checks. That my daughters don't need a rich father. They need a present father." Serena uncrossed her arms. "That's a good start. It's more than a start. It's a commitment. I'm not going back to the way things were. I've already told my team that I'm stepping back from day-to-day operations. I'm delegating. I'm working from home. My daughters are my priority now." "For how long?" "Forever." Serena studied his face. "People don't change overnight, Mr. Wellington." "I know, but I'm not asking you to trust me overnight. I'm asking you to give me a chance to prove myself, day by day, week by week, month by month. And if you slip up, then you call me out. You hold me accountable. You don't let me off the hook. Serena was quiet for a long moment. There's something else we need to discuss. What? My role in this house. You're the housekeeper. Same as before. No, I'm not. Marcus blinked. I don't understand. If I'm going to be part of your daughter's lives, really part of their lives, I can't just be the hired help. I can't just clean and fold laundry and know my place. I need to have a voice. I need to be able to speak up when I think something is wrong. Of course. I mean it. If I see you slipping back into old patterns, I'm going to say something. If I think you're making a bad decision, I'm going to challenge you. I'm not going to be quiet and polite and deferential just because you sign my paycheck. I wouldn't want you to be. Serena took a step closer. And I need you to pay for my schooling. Marcus's eyebrows rose. Your schooling? I'm 3 semesters away from my degree in early childhood development. I've been taking night classes at Georgia State, but between work and taking care of Jalen, I can barely keep up. If I'm going to be here full-time helping raise your daughters, I need to finish my education. I need to know what I'm doing. Done? Serena blinked. Just like that? Just like that? I'll pay for the rest of your degree. And when you're done, if you want to open that daycare you've been dreaming about, I'll fund that too. Serena's eyes widened. How do you know about that? Jalen told me. He said you've been planning it for years, a daycare in the West Side, a place where kids from your neighborhood can learn and grow. He told you that. He loves you, Serena. He's protective of you, but he also wants you to have your dreams. Serena's eyes filled with tears. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Say you'll let me help you, not as charity, as partnership. You help me raise my daughters. I help you build your future. We both win. Serena wiped her eyes. This isn't how I expected this conversation to go. How did you expect it to go? I expected you to argue, to push back, to try to maintain control. The old Marcus would have, but I'm trying to be someone different now, someone who listens, someone who supports instead of controls. Serena took a deep breath. Okay, I'm in. You're in. I'm in, full commitment, but we do this together, equals, partners, not boss and employee. Marcus stood up and extended his hand. Partners. Serena shook it. Partners. And for the first time since she'd walked through the door, she smiled. 2 weeks passed. The house transformed. Not the building itself, but the feeling inside it. The silence was gone, replaced by noise and laughter and the chaotic energy of 3 little girls who had finally found their voices again. Every morning, Marcus and Serena made breakfast together. They bickered over who made better pancakes. They argued about whether eggs should be scrambled or sunny side up. They laughed when Faith tried to flip a pancake and it landed on the floor. Daddy, you're supposed to catch it. With what, my face? Yes. The girls ate every meal at the kitchen table now, all 5 of them ate them together. Marcus at one end, Serena at the other, the triplets in between. It felt like a family, a real family, but there were still hard moments. One evening, about 3 weeks after Serena's return, Grace came downstairs after bedtime. Her face was wet with tears. What's wrong, baby? Marcus asked. I had a bad dream. About what? About Mommy. Marcus's heart clenched. Come here. He pulled her into his lap. Serena sat beside them, her hand on Grace's back. Tell me about the dream, Marcus said gently. Mommy was here. She was singing to us. She was braiding my hair, and then she just disappeared. She was gone, and I couldn't find her anywhere. I kept looking, and she wasn't there. Grace's voice broke. And when I woke up, I remembered she's really gone. She's never coming back. And it hurts so much, Daddy. It hurts so much. Marcus held her tighter. I know, baby, I know. Why did she have to die? Why did that man hit her car? Why couldn't she just come home? I don't know, sweetheart. I've asked myself those questions 1,000 times. There's no good answer. It's not fair. No, it's not. Serena spoke softly. Grace, can I tell you something? Grace looked at her with wet eyes. My sister died 2 years ago, Jalen's mama. She was my best friend in the whole world, and when she died, I felt like a piece of me died too, like there was a hole inside me that would never be filled. How did you make it stop hurting? I didn't. The hurt doesn't go away, sweetheart. It changes. It gets different. But it never completely goes away. And that's okay, because the hurt is connected to the love, and the love is worth the hurt. Grace was quiet for a moment. Do you still miss her? Every single day. but I also carry her with me, in my heart, in my memories, in the way I live my life. She's gone, but she's not really gone. She's part of me forever." Grace looked at her father. "Is that how you feel about Mommy?" Marcus felt tears burning in his eyes. "Yes, baby, every single day. Your mother is part of me, part of all of us. She'll never really be gone as long as we remember her. I don't want to forget her." "You won't. I promise you won't." Grace leaned into his chest. "I love you, Daddy." "I love you too, baby, more than anything in the world." They sat there together, the three of them, until Grace fell asleep in Marcus's arms. Serena helped him carry her back up to bed. "Thank you," Marcus whispered as they tucked her in. "For what?" "For knowing what to say. I never know what to say about Evelyn. It's too painful. I shut down." "You don't have to have all the answers, Mr. Wellington. You just have to be present. You just have to let them feel what they feel." "You make it sound so simple." "It's not simple, but it's not complicated either. It's just love." Marcus looked at his daughter sleeping peacefully. "I wasted so much time. 19 months of running, 19 months of hiding from my grief. I'll never get that time back." "No, you won't. But you have today, and tomorrow, and all the days after that. That's what matters now." Marcus nodded slowly. "You're right. Thank you, Serena." "You're welcome. Now get some sleep. Those girls are going to be up at the crack of dawn wanting pancakes." Marcus smiled. "I'll make sure we have extra flour." 1 month after Serena's return, Dorothy approached Marcus in his study. "Sir, there's something you need to know." Her voice was different, tense. Marcus looked up immediately. "What is it?" "A reporter called, from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. They're doing a story." "About what?" "About you, about the girls, about how you disappeared from public life. They've been digging." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "What have they found?" "They know about the girls' silence. They know about the therapists. They know you've been absent, and they're asking questions about Serena." "What kind of questions?" "Who she is, why she's living here, what her relationship is to the family." Marcus stood up. "This is nobody's business." "I agree, sir, but you're a public figure, a billionaire. People are curious." "My daughter's mental health is not public entertainment." "I know, but the reporter is persistent. She's already talked to some of the staff at the zoo, the aquarium. She's building a timeline." Marcus's hands clenched into fists. "Get me her number." "Sir, I don't think—" "Get me her number, Dorothy, now." Dorothy hesitated, then handed him a piece of paper. Marcus dialed immediately. "This is Marcus Wellington." Silence on the other end, then a woman's voice. "Mr. Wellington, thank you for calling me back." "I'm not calling you back. I'm calling to tell you to stop." "Sir, the public has a right to know." "The public has no right to know anything about my daughters. They're children. They've been through trauma, and if you print one word about their mental health, about their struggles, about anything that could hurt them, I will bury you in lawsuits for the rest of your career." "Are you threatening me?" "I'm promising you, you can write about me, you can write about my business, you can dig up whatever dirt you want on Marcus Wellington, the billionaire, but my daughters are off limits, completely off limits." Silence. "And the woman, Serena Mitchell. What about her? Our sources say she's more than just a housekeeper, that she has an unusual amount of access to your children, that she's been seen taking them places alone." Marcus felt rage building in his chest. "Serena Mitchell is a member of this family. She helped my daughters through the worst period of their lives. And if you print anything that disparages her, anything that implies something inappropriate, I will make it my personal mission to destroy your paper." "Sir, that sounds like a threat." "It's a promise, and I keep my promises." He hung up. Dorothy was watching him with wide eyes. "That was direct?" "I'm done being polite. I'm done letting people poke around in my family's pain. If they want to write about me, fine. But they leave my girls out of it. They leave Serena out of it. What if they don't listen? Then I make good on my promise." Dorothy nodded slowly. "I'll monitor the situation, sir." "Do that. And Dorothy—" "Yes." "Thank you for warning me." "That's my job, sir." Marcus sat back down, his heart still racing. He'd spent his whole life building walls around his business, protecting his assets, guarding his empire. Now he understood that none of that mattered. His real treasure was upstairs playing with Serena, laughing at something silly Faith had said, and he would protect that treasure with everything he had. 6 weeks after Serena's return, something unexpected happened. Marcus was in the garden with the girls helping them plant flowers when Serena called him inside. "Mr. Wellington, you have a visitor." "Who? Your mother." Marcus froze. He hadn't spoken to his mother in over a year. Not since he'd skipped her 75th birthday party for a business trip to Tokyo. Not since she'd called him selfish and cold and said Evelyn would be ashamed of him. "Where is she?" "Living room." Marcus walked inside slowly. His heart pounded. Rosetta Wellington sat on the couch, her purse in her lap, her back straight as always. She was 76 years old now, but her eyes were still sharp, still seeing everything. "Mama?" "Marcus. I didn't know you were coming." "I didn't tell you. I wasn't sure you'd let me in." "Of course I'd let you in. You're my mother." "Am I? Because for the past 19 months I've felt like a stranger. You didn't return my calls. You didn't come for Christmas. You didn't come for my birthday. I had to read about my own granddaughter's struggles in a newspaper." Marcus felt shame burning in his chest. "I know. I'm sorry." "Sorry." Rosetta's voice was sharp. "That word means nothing to me, Marcus. I raised you better than this. I sacrificed everything so you could have a better life. And this is what you became, a man who runs from his children, a man who throws money at problems instead of love. Mama, I'm not finished." Marcus closed his mouth. "I lost Evelyn too. She was like a daughter to me. She was the best thing that ever happened to you, and when she died, I thought we would grieve together. I thought you would lean on me. Instead, you disappeared." Her voice cracked. "I lost my son the same day I lost my daughter-in-law, and those grandbabies lost both their parents." Marcus felt tears streaming down his face. I know, Mama. I was wrong. I was so wrong." Rosetta studied him. "Dorothy called me. She said you've changed. She said you're here now, present, trying." "I am." "I didn't believe her. That's why I came, to see for myself." "What do you see?" Rosetta was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke. "I see dirt under your fingernails. I see circles under your eyes. I see a man who looks exhausted." "I am exhausted." "Good. That's what fatherhood looks like." She stood up slowly. "Dorothy also told me about the woman, Serena." "She's wonderful, Mama. She brought the girls back. When no one else could reach them, she did." "I want to meet her." "Of course, she's in the kitchen." "And I want to meet my grandbabies. Really meet them. Not just a quick hello at a funeral. I want to know them." Marcus felt hope rising in his chest. They would love that. They need their grandmother. "They have a grandmother. They've always had one. You just kept us apart." "I know. I'm sorry." Rosetta walked over to him. She reached up and touched his face. "You look like your father right now. He had those same tired eyes whenever he came home from a long haul. He was never good at showing love either, but he tried. Every day he tried." "I'm trying, Mama. I know you are, and I'm proud of you." Marcus broke down. He fell into his mother's arms like he was a little boy again, crying against her shoulder, letting out 19 months of grief and guilt and shame. "I missed you, Mama. I missed you so much." "I missed you too, baby. I missed you too." They held each other for a long time. And when they finally pulled apart, Rosetta wiped his face with her handkerchief. "Now, take me to my grandbabies. I have 19 months of grandmothering to catch up on." Marcus laughed through his tears. "Yes, ma'am." The girls didn't recognize Rosetta at first. They hadn't seen her since the funeral. They'd been so lost in their grief that they barely remembered anything from that day. But Rosetta knew exactly how to handle them. "My goodness, look at you 3 beautiful girls. You look just like your mother." Faith tilted her head. "Who are you?" "I'm your grandmother, baby. Your daddy's mama." "Daddy has a mama?" Rosetta laughed. "He sure does, and I've been waiting a very long time to meet you properly." Grace stepped forward cautiously. "Why didn't you come before?" Rosetta looked at Marcus. "Your daddy and I had a misunderstanding, but we fixed it, and now I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." "Do you make cookies?" Hope asked. "The best cookies in Atlanta." "Can you make some for us?" "I can make cookies right now if your daddy has the ingredients." The girls' faces lit up. And just like that, Rosetta was in the kitchen tying an apron around her waist, ordering Marcus around like he was 10 years old again. "Get me the flour. No, not that flour. The good flour. And sugar. And butter. Real butter, not that margarine nonsense rich people eat." "Mama, I don't think..." "Don't think, just get." The girls watched in delight as their grandmother transformed the kitchen into a cookie factory. Serena joined them after a while. She and Rosetta sized each other up for a moment. Then Rosetta nodded. "Dorothy told me about you. She said you're the reason these babies are talking again." "I just loved them, ma'am, that's all." "That's all, huh?" Rosetta shook her head. "Child love is everything. Love is the only thing that matters. And you gave these babies love when their own daddy was too broken to do it." She reached out and took Serena's hands. "Thank you, from the bottom of this old woman's heart. Thank you." Serena's eyes filled with tears. "You're welcome, ma'am. Call me Rosetta, or Mama, or whatever you want, but don't call me ma'am. Makes me feel ancient." Serena smiled. "Yes, Mama Rosetta." "That'll do." And just like that, the family grew by one more. That night, after the cookies were eaten and the girls were in bed, Marcus and Rosetta sat in the living room. "She's special, that woman," Rosetta said quietly. "Serena?" "Yes, she has something. A light, a warmth. The girls feel it. I feel it. She saved us, Mama. I don't know what would have happened if she hadn't come along." Rosetta was quiet for a moment. "Do you love her?" Marcus blinked. "What?" "I asked if you love her." "Mama, it's not like that. She works for me. She's here for the girls." "That's not what I asked. I asked if you love her." Marcus didn't respond. "I see the way you look at her. I see the way your face changes when she walks into a room. I'm old, Marcus, but I'm not blind." "It's complicated, Mama." "Love is always complicated, but that doesn't make it less real." Marcus stared at his hands. "I don't know what I feel. Everything is so mixed up. Evelyn's been gone less than 2 years. I'm still grieving. And Serena, she's been so focused on the girls, I don't even know if she sees me that way." "Then find out." "How?" "By being honest. By telling her the truth. By taking a risk." "What if she doesn't feel the same way?" "Then at least you'll know, and you can move forward. But if you keep it bottled up inside, it'll eat at you. Trust me, I've seen it happen." Marcus was quiet for a long time. "I'll think about it." "Don't think too long. Life is short. Evelyn taught us that." Rosetta stood up slowly. "I'm going to bed. These old bones need rest." "Mama." "Yes. I'm glad you came." Rosetta smiled. "So am I, baby. So am I." 2 months passed. The house was full now. Full of life. Full of love. Full of noise and chaos and all the beautiful mess that comes with family. Marcus had kept every promise he made. He was there for breakfast every morning. He was there for dinner every night. He read bedtime stories. He helped with homework. He played in the garden. He sat through tea parties and dance performances and 1,000 games of hide and seek. Serena had finished her semester at Georgia State. She was one step closer to her degree, and Marcus had already started looking at properties in the West Side for her future daycare. Rosetta visited every week sometimes, staying for days at a time. The girls called her Grandma Rosie. She taught them how to make biscuits and how to braid hair and how to say grace before meals. Dorothy watched it all with quiet satisfaction. "This is what I always wanted for this family," she told Marcus one evening. "This is what Evelyn would have wanted." "You think so?" "I know so. She used to talk to me, you know. Late at night when you were traveling. She'd come down to the kitchen, and we'd drink tea, and she'd tell me her dreams for these girls. She wanted them to know love, real love, not the kind you buy, the kind you build." Marcus felt his eyes burning. "I wish I'd listened to her more." "You're listening now. That's what matters." But there was one thing Marcus hadn't done. He hadn't told Serena how he felt. Every day he watched her with his daughters, watched her laugh with them, watched her comfort them, watched her become more and more a part of their lives. And every day he fell a little more in love with her. But he was afraid of ruining what they had, afraid of making things awkward, afraid of losing her if she didn't feel the same way. So he kept his feelings locked inside, until the night everything changed. It was a Thursday. The girls were asleep. Rosetta had gone home for the week. Dorothy was in her quarters. Marcus and Serena sat in the living room drinking tea, talking about the girls' progress. "Grace asked me about her mother again today," Serena said. "What did she say?" "She asked if Evelyn would like me, if Evelyn would be happy that I'm here." Marcus's heart clenched. "What did you tell her?" "I told her I hoped so. I told her I wished I could have met Evelyn, that everything I know about her makes me think she was an incredible woman." "She was." Serena looked at him. "You still love her?" It wasn't a question. "I'll always love her. She was my wife, the mother of my children, but..." But what? Marcus set down his tea. But I'm learning that the heart has room for more than one love. That loving Evelyn doesn't mean I can't... He stopped. Serena waited. Can't what? Marcus looked at her, really looked at her. I've been wanting to tell you something, for weeks, maybe months, but I've been scared. Scared of what? Of losing you, of ruining what we have, of making things complicated. Serena set down her tea too. Tell me. Marcus took a deep breath. I love you, Serena. The words hung in the air. Serena didn't move, didn't speak. I love the way you are with my daughters. I love the way you challenge me. I love the way you make this house feel like a home. I love everything about you. Still nothing. I know this might be crazy. I know it might be too soon. I know you might not feel the same way, but I couldn't keep it inside anymore. I had to tell you the truth. Serena's eyes were wet. Marcus? It was the first time she'd called him by his first name. I've been waiting for you to say that for 6 weeks. Marcus's heart stopped. What? I love you too. I've loved you since I watched you break down in front of your daughters and beg them to give you another chance. I've loved you since I watched you make terrible scrambled eggs and refuse to give up. I've loved you since I watched you become the father those girls deserve. Marcus felt tears streaming down his face. You love me. I love you, and I've been just as scared as you. Scared that you still saw me as the help. Scared that I was imagining things. Scared that I'd lose everything if I said something. Marcus stood up, crossed the room, took her hands in his. You're not the help, Serena. You're my partner. You're part of this family. You're the best thing that's happened to us since Evelyn died. Serena stood up too. They were inches apart now. What happens now? She whispered. I don't know, but I want to figure it out together. Together? Yes. Serena smiled through her tears. I'd like that. And then slowly, gently Marcus leaned in, and he kissed her. And for the first time in 19 months, his heart felt whole. And for the first time in 19 months, his heart felt whole. But the kiss ended too quickly. Serena pulled back, her eyes wide with something that looked like fear. Wait, Marcus, wait. What's wrong? The girls. We have to think about the girls. Marcus kept her hands in his. What about them? They lost their mother less than 2 years ago. They're just starting to heal. If we do this, if we try to be together and it doesn't work out, it will work out. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. And if it falls apart, those girls will lose someone else they love. I can't do that to them. I won't. Marcus felt his heart sinking. So what are you saying? I'm saying we need to be careful. We need to take this slow. We need to make sure this is real before we tell anyone, before we change anything. How slow? Serena took a deep breath. Let's give it 3 months. 3 months of figuring out what this is, just between us. If it's still strong after 3 months, then we tell the girls. We tell everyone. Marcus wanted to argue. He wanted to shout from the rooftops that he loved this woman. He wanted the whole world to know, but he understood her fear. Okay, 3 months. You promise. I promise. Serena squeezed his hands. Thank you for understanding. I'd wait 3 years if that's what you needed. Let's hope it doesn't take that long. She smiled, and Marcus felt like he could breathe again. The next morning, everything looked the same. Marcus made breakfast. Serena helped the girls get ready. Dorothy managed the household. Rosetta called to check in. Nobody knew that anything had changed, but Marcus knew. Every time he looked at Serena, he felt it. Every time their hands brushed passing dishes across the table, he felt it. Every time she smiled at him from across the room, he felt it. Love. Real love. The kind that builds slowly and burns steady. 3 days later, Jalen came to visit. He was 17 now, taller than Marcus, with shoulders that had broadened from basketball practice. He stood in the foyer looking uncomfortable. Aunt Rena asked me to come. I'm glad you're here. The girls have been asking about you. They have. Faith calls you the tall boy with the mean face. Jalen almost smiled. I don't have a mean face. I didn't say you did. She did. The tension broke slightly. Look, Jalen said. I owe you an apology. Marcus raised his eyebrows. For what? For how I treated you when you came to our apartment. I was rude, disrespectful. My aunt raised me better than that. You were protecting her. I respect that. Still, she told me what you've done, how you've changed, how you're showing up for your daughters now, and I guess... He shifted his weight. I guess I misjudged you. You judged me based on what you saw, and what you saw was a man who made your aunt cry. Your judgment was fair." Jalen looked surprised. "Most rich people would have been angry, would have held a grudge. I'm not most rich people. At least I'm trying not to be." Jalen nodded slowly. "My aunt says you're paying for her school." "I am. And you're going to help her open a daycare. If that's what she wants." "Why, us?" "Because she deserves it. Because she's given my family something that money can't buy. Because I want to see her dreams come true." Jalen studied him for a long moment. "You love her?" It wasn't a question. Marcus hesitated. "We're keeping things private right now, for the girl's sake." "But you love her." "Yes, I love her." Jalen's jaw tightened. "If you hurt her, I'll kill you." "I know." "I'm serious." "I know you are, and I'm serious too. I'm not going to hurt her. I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure she's happy." Jalen stared at him. Then slowly he extended his hand. "Okay, we're good." Marcus shook it. "We're good." Faith came running into the foyer. "Tall boy, you came." Jalen's face transformed. The hardness melted away, replaced by a genuine smile. "Hey, little one, yeah, I came." "Do you want to see my butterflies? I have a whole collection now. Miss Serena helped me find them in books." "Sure, show me your butterflies." Faith grabbed his hand and dragged him toward the playroom. Marcus watched them go, something warm spreading through his chest. Family wasn't just blood, it was the people who showed up, the people who stayed, and his family was growing. 6 weeks into their secret relationship, the first test came. Marcus was in his study reviewing documents when his phone rang, a number he didn't recognize. "Marcus Wellington?" "Mr. Wellington, this is Richard Hayes. I'm the attorney representing your late wife's estate." Marcus felt his blood run cold. "I don't understand. Evelyn's estate was settled over a year ago." "There's been a development. Evelyn's sister Catherine is contesting the custody arrangement for the girls." "What?" "She's filing for full custody. She claims you're an unfit parent, that you abandoned your children emotionally after your wife's death, that you've brought an inappropriate person into their lives." Marcus's hand tightened on the phone. "That's ridiculous. Catherine hasn't even seen the girls in over a year." "Be that as it may, she's retained counsel. She's serious about this." "On what grounds?" "She has statements from former staff members, people who worked in your home during the months after Evelyn's death. They describe the girls' condition, their silence, your absence. She's painting a picture of neglect." Marcus felt rage building in his chest. "Those girls are thriving now. They're happy. They're healthy. They're talking, laughing, going to school." "I'm glad to hear that. But the court will want proof, documentation, testimony from current caregivers, psychological evaluations." "This is insane. Catherine never cared about those girls. She and Evelyn barely spoke in the last years of Evelyn's life. I'm just telling you what's coming. You need to prepare." Marcus hung up the phone. His hands were shaking. He found Serena in the kitchen helping Hope with a puzzle. "We need to talk, privately." Serena saw his face and immediately stood. "Hope, sweetie, can you work on that puzzle for a few minutes? I need to talk to your daddy." "Okay, Miss Serena." They went to the study. Marcus closed the door. "What happened?" "Evelyn's sister is suing for custody of the girls." Serena's face went pale. "What?" "She's claiming I'm an unfit parent, that I abandoned them, that I brought an inappropriate person into their lives." "Inappropriate person? She means me." "Probably." Serena sat down heavily. "This is my fault. I knew this would happen. I knew people would talk." "This is not your fault. Catherine is doing this because she's greedy, because she wants access to the girls' trust funds, because she's bitter that Evelyn left everything to me and not to her. But she's using me as ammunition. She's using whatever she can find. If it wasn't you, it would be something else." Serena's eyes filled with tears. "Maybe I should leave, just until this is resolved, so she can't use me against you." Marcus knelt down in front of her. "No, absolutely not. You're not going anywhere. But if I'm the reason, you're not the reason. Catherine is the reason. Greed is the reason. I'm not going to let her manipulate us. I'm not going to let her tear this family apart." "What are we going to do, Hamiko?" "We're going to fight. We're going to get the best lawyers. We're going to document everything, every therapy session, every school report, every happy moment those girls have had since you came into their lives." "And us, what about us?" Marcus took her hands. "Us is non-negotiable. I love you. The girls love you. We're a family, and no one is going to take that away." Serena wiped her eyes. I'm scared, Marcus. I know, I'm scared too, but we're going to get through this, together. He pulled her close, and for a long moment, they just held each other. The next 2 weeks were chaos. Marcus assembled a legal team, 3 attorneys, 2 paralegals, a child psychologist. The case was complex, as emotional, potentially devastating. Catherine's lawyers were aggressive. They subpoenaed records from the therapists who had treated the girls. They interviewed former household staff. They painted a picture of a wealthy, negligent father who had abandoned his children to the care of strangers. Dorothy was called in for a deposition. Mrs. Robinson, how would you describe Mr. Wellington's involvement with his daughters in the months following his wife's death? Dorothy straightened in her chair. Mr. Wellington was grieving. We all were. He struggled, yes, but he never stopped loving those girls. But he was absent, wasn't he, traveling for business while his daughters suffered in silence? He was present as much as he could be, and when he realized they needed more, he came home. He changed. When did this change occur? About 4 months ago. He canceled his trips. He restructured his entire life. He's been home every single day since. And the woman, Serena Mitchell, what is her role in the household? Dorothy's eyes narrowed. She's a member of this family. She helped those girls heal when nothing else worked. She's the reason they're talking again. Some would say her presence is inappropriate, a single woman living in the home of a wealthy widower. Some would be wrong, and frankly, some should mind their own business. The opposing attorney smiled thinly. No further questions. Marcus was deposed next. Mr. Wellington, where were you when your daughters stopped speaking? I was traveling, working. I didn't know how to help them. So you ran away. I made mistakes. I'm not denying that. And when did you realize your mistakes? When I came home unexpectedly and saw my daughters laughing for the first time in 19 months, saw them alive again, and realized a woman I'd barely noticed had done what I couldn't do. What was your reaction? Marcus paused. I was angry, jealous, ashamed. I lashed out. I fired her. You fired the woman who healed your daughters. Yes, it was the worst decision I've ever made, and I spent weeks trying to make it right. And now she lives in your home. Yes. In what capacity? Marcus looked directly at the camera recording the deposition. She's part of my family. She's someone I love, and she's the best thing that ever happened to my daughters. The room went silent. Marcus's attorney tried to object, but the words were already out. Marcus had just admitted on the record that he loved Serena Mitchell. That night, Serena found him in the study. You told them you love me. I told them the truth. That was supposed to be private. For 3 months, you said. I know, but I couldn't lie. Not in a deposition. Not when they were trying to twist everything we've built into something ugly. Serena sat down beside him. What happens now? I don't know, but whatever happens, I'm not ashamed of loving you. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to pretend. The girls don't know yet. Then maybe it's time to tell them. Serena took a deep breath. You really want to do this? Now in the middle of a custody battle? I want them to hear it from us. Before they hear it from lawyers or reporters or anyone else, I want them to know the truth. Serena was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay, let's tell them. They gathered the girls in the living room the next morning. Grace, Hope, and Faith sat on the couch looking curious but nervous. They could tell something important was happening. Marcus sat across from them, Serena beside him. Girls, Miss Serena and I need to tell you something. Faith's eyes went wide. Are you getting married? Marcus laughed despite himself. Slow down, baby. Let me talk. But are you? Faith, listen. She closed her mouth, but her eyes were still dancing. Marcus took a breath. You know that Miss Serena has been living here for a while now. She's been helping take care of you. She's become part of our family. The girls nodded. Well, something else has happened too. Something between Miss Serena and me. Hope tilted her head. Like what? Serena spoke gently. Your daddy and I have fallen in love with each other. Silence. Grace's face was unreadable. Hope looked confused. Faith was beaming. I knew it, Faith shouted. I knew you were in love. I told Grace, but she didn't believe me. Faith, hush, Grace said quietly. Marcus focused on his oldest daughter. Grace, what are you thinking? Grace was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke. What about Mommy? Marcus felt his heart clench. What about her? You loved Mommy, you were married to Mommy, and now you love Miss Serena instead. I still love your mother. I'll always love her. Nothing will ever change that." "Then how can you love Miss Serena too?" Serena leaned forward. "Grace, can I tell you something?" Grace looked at her warily. "My grandmother used to tell me that the heart is like a house. It has many rooms, and each room can hold a different love. Your daddy's love for your mother lives in one room. It will always be there. But that doesn't mean other rooms have to stay empty." Grace's eyes were wet. "So you're not replacing Mommy?" "Never. I could never replace your mother. I wouldn't even try. But I can love you and your sisters and your daddy in my own way, in a different room." Grace was silent. Hope spoke up. "Will you be our new Mommy?" Serena shook her head. "You only have one Mommy, and she's watching over you from heaven. I'm something different. I'm someone who loves you, someone who's here for you. What you call me, that's up to you." Faith jumped off the couch and threw herself at Serena. "I'm going to call you Mama, Serena." Serena caught her tears streaming down her face. "That's beautiful, sweetheart. I would love that." Hope got up too. She walked over slowly and hugged Serena from the side. "Me too, Mama Serena." Only Grace remained on the couch. Marcus waited, his heart in his throat. Finally, Grace stood. She walked over to Serena. She looked at her for a long moment. Then she spoke. "Mommy would have liked you." Serena's breath caught. "You think so?" "I know so. She would have liked how you take care of us, how you make Daddy smile, how you make this house feel like home again." Grace hugged her. "I'm glad you're here, Mama Serena." And in that moment, Marcus knew. They were going to be okay. Whatever Catherine threw at them, whatever the courts decided, they were going to be okay. Because they had each other, and that was enough. The custody hearing was scheduled for the following month. In the weeks leading up to it, Marcus prepared obsessively. Documents, testimonies, character witnesses, psychological evaluations that showed the girls thriving. The therapist who had worked with them for the past 3 months testified. The triplets have made remarkable progress. They're communicating openly, expressing emotions, appropriately forming healthy attachments. The change in their home environment, particularly the presence of Ms. Mitchell and the increased involvement of their father, has been transformative. The girls' school teachers provided statements. Grace, Hope, and Faith are engaged social and performing at grade level. They talk about their father and their Mama Serena frequently. They seem happy and well-adjusted. Even Rosetta testified. "My son made mistakes. He admits that. But he's changed. He's present. He's involved. And those girls love him. They love Serena. Breaking up that family would be cruel." Catherine's attorneys tried to paint a different picture. They brought up Marcus's travel schedule from the previous year. They questioned Serena's background, her education, her qualifications. But it wasn't enough. The judge was a grandmother herself. 63 years old, no nonsense, and clearly unimpressed by Catherine's arguments. "Mr. Wellington, I've reviewed the evidence, I've heard the testimonies, and I have some questions for you." "Yes, Your Honor." "Why did you abandon your daughters after your wife's death?" Marcus didn't flinch. "Because I was broken, Your Honor. Grief destroyed me. I didn't know how to be a father without their mother by my side, so I ran. I'm not proud of it. I'll regret it for the rest of my life." "And what changed?" "I came home one day and heard my daughters laughing, for the first time in 19 months, and I realized what I'd been missing, what I'd been running from. I fired the woman who made them laugh, because I was jealous and ashamed. And then I spent weeks trying to get her back, because I finally understood that my daughters needed love, not money, presents, not presents. And now I'm home every day. I make breakfast, I help with homework, I read bedtime stories. I'm there for every moment, big and small, and I'm never leaving again." The judge turned to Catherine. "Ms. Carter, what is your relationship with these children?" Catherine straightened. "I'm their aunt, their mother's only sister." "When did you last see them?" Catherine hesitated. "At the funeral, 2 years ago." 2 years, and you've made no effort to visit, to call, to be part of their lives." Mr. Wellington made it difficult. "Did he? Because according to the records, you never requested visitation, never sent birthday cards, never reached out in any way until you learned about the trust funds." Catherine's face reddened. "That's not... Ms. Carter, I've been on this bench for 31 years. I know a money grab when I see one." The courtroom went silent. "Mr. Wellington is far from a perfect father. He made serious mistakes, but he's shown genuine change. The children are thriving. They have stability, love, and a support system that includes their father, Ms. Mitchell, their grandmother, and their household staff." She looked at Catherine. What you're offering is disruption, chaos, a removal from everything these children know and love, and for what access to their trust funds. That's not what this court is for. She banged her gavel. Petition denied. Full custody remains with Mr. Wellington. Case closed. Marcus felt his legs go weak. It was over. They had won. Outside the courthouse, Serena was waiting. She ran to him as soon as he came through the doors. What happened? It's over. We won. Full custody. Serena threw her arms around him. Thank God, thank God, Marcus held her tight. It's over. We can stop fighting. We can just be a family. Serena pulled back, tears streaming down her face. I was so scared, Marcus. So scared they would take them away. Nobody's taking anyone away. Not ever. We're together, all of us, forever. Rosetta appeared behind them. Well, don't keep an old woman in suspense. We won, Mama. Rosetta's face broke into the biggest smile Marcus had ever seen. Praise God in heaven. She hugged them both. Now let's go home and tell those babies the good news. The girls were waiting with Dorothy when they arrived. They ran to the door as soon as they heard the car. Daddy, what happened? Marcus knelt down and gathered all three of them in his arms. We won babies. Nobody's taking you anywhere. You're staying right here, with me, with Mama Serena, forever. Faith screamed with joy. Hope burst into tears. Grace just held on tight. I knew it, Grace whispered. I knew you'd keep us safe. Always, baby, always. Serena joined the embrace. 5 people tangled together in the foyer, crying, laughing, holding on. A family. A real family. And nothing would ever tear them apart. That night, after the girls were asleep, Marcus found Serena in the garden. She was sitting on the bench looking up at the stars. He sat down beside her. What are you thinking about? Everything. The past few months. Everything we've been through. Everything we've built. Any regrets? Not one. Marcus reached into his pocket. I have something for you. Serena looked at him. He pulled out a small velvet box. Her eyes went wide. Marcus, I know we said 3 months. It's only been 2. But after today, after everything we've been through, I don't want to wait anymore. He opened the box. A diamond ring glittered in the starlight. Serena Mitchell, you saved my daughters. You saved me. You turned this house into a home. You taught me what it means to show up, to be present, to love without conditions. His voice broke. I can't imagine my life without you. I don't want to imagine it. I want you beside me every day for the rest of my life. He took a breath. Will you marry me? Serena's hands were shaking. Tears streamed down her face. Yes, the word came out as a whisper. Yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Marcus slipped the ring onto her finger, and then he kissed her, and the stars watched. And somewhere Marcus was sure Evelyn was smiling. The next morning, Marcus woke up before dawn. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the proposal in his mind. The way Serena's eyes had filled with tears, the way her voice had trembled when she said yes, the way the ring had looked on her finger catching the starlight. He was getting married again. The thought terrified him and thrilled him in equal measure. He got up quietly and went downstairs. The house was silent. Everyone was still asleep. He made coffee and sat at the kitchen table thinking about what came next. Telling the girls, telling Rosetta, telling Jalen, planning a wedding, building a life. The weight of it all pressed down on him, but it was a good weight, the weight of something real, something worth carrying. Serena appeared in the doorway a few minutes later. Her hair was tousled, her eyes still heavy with sleep, but she was smiling. You're up early? Couldn't sleep. Nervous? Terrified. She laughed and sat down beside him. Me too. What if the girls don't approve? What if they're angry? They love me, Marcus, and they love you. They'll be happy. You think so? I know so. Faith has been planning our wedding since the day she called me Mama Serena. Marcus laughed despite himself. That's probably true. Serena took his hand. We're going to be okay, all of us. We've been through the hardest parts. The rest is just living. Just living. You make it sound so simple. It is simple. Not easy, but simple. We show up. We love each other. We take it one day at a time. Marcus squeezed her hand. When do we tell them? Today, at breakfast, before they hear it from anyone else. Marcus nodded. Okay, today. The girls came downstairs at 7:30, still in their pajamas, rubbing sleep from their eyes. Daddy, can we have pancakes? Faith asked immediately. Pancakes it is. Marcus made breakfast while Serena set the table. The girls chattered about their dreams, about what they wanted to do that day, about whether butterflies could swim. When everyone was seated, Marcus cleared his throat. Girls, Mama Serena and I have something to tell you. 3 pairs of eyes looked up at him. Last night I asked Mama Serena to marry me. Silence. And she said yes. Faith's fork clattered to her plate. You're getting married. Yes, baby, we're getting married. Faith screamed. Actually screamed. She jumped out of her chair and started running in circles around the kitchen. They're getting married. They're getting married. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Hope burst into tears. Happy tears. She ran to Serena and threw her arms around her. You're going to be our real mama now. Serena held her tight. I'm going to be your stepmama, but I'll love you like a real mama. I already do. That's all that matters, Hope whispered. Grace remained in her seat. Her face was calm, but her eyes were wet. Marcus walked over and knelt beside her. Grace? What are you thinking? Grace was quiet for a moment. I'm thinking about Mommy. I'm thinking about what she would say. Marcus felt his heart clench. What do you think she would say? Grace looked at Serena. I think she would say thank you. Serena's breath caught. Thank you. For taking care of us, for making Daddy smile again, for making this house feel like home. She stood up and walked to Serena. Mommy loved us more than anything, and she would want us to be happy. She would want Daddy to be happy. She hugged Serena tightly. So I'm happy because Mommy would be happy. Marcus felt tears streaming down his face. This was what he had been afraid of. This moment, this conversation, and it had turned out to be beautiful. Faith was still running in circles. We need dresses, we need flowers, we need cake, we need everything. Serena laughed through her tears. Slow down, sweetheart. We have time to plan. When is the wedding tomorrow? Not tomorrow, but soon. We'll figure it out together. Faith finally stopped running and crashed into the group hug. This is the best day ever, even better than the zoo. Marcus wrapped his arms around all of them. His daughters, his fiancée, his family. He had almost lost all of this. He had almost destroyed it with his own hands. But somehow, by the grace of God and the patience of an extraordinary woman, he had found his way back, and he was never letting go. The news spread quickly. Dorothy cried when they told her, I've been waiting for this since the day that woman walked through the door. I knew. I just knew. Rosetta arrived that afternoon, having somehow already heard through the family grapevine. My son is getting married again, and to a woman with sense this time. Mama Evelyn had plenty of sense. Evelyn was a saint. This one is practical. I like practical. She hugged Serena tightly. Welcome to the family, daughter, officially this time. Jalen was harder to reach. He was at basketball practice when Serena called him. Can you come over tonight? I need to tell you something. Is everything okay? More than okay, just come. He arrived at 6, still in his practice clothes, looking worried. What's going on, Aunt Rena? Serena held up her left hand. Jalen stared at the ring. He proposed. And you said yes. I said yes. Jalen was quiet for a long moment. How do you feel about it? Serena asked nervously. Jalen looked at Marcus, who was standing in the doorway. You're really going to marry my aunt, if she'll have me. You're really going to take care of her for the rest of your life. That's the plan. Jalen walked over to Marcus. They stood face to face, eye to eye. My mama is gone. My aunt is all I have left. She's more than an aunt to me. She's my mother, my sister, my best friend. She's everything. I know. If you hurt her, I'll make you regret it. I know that too. Jalen stared at him for another moment. Then he extended his hand. Congratulations, Mr. Wellington. Marcus shook it. Call me Marcus. We're family now. Jalen almost smiled. I'll think about it. He turned to Serena. I'm happy for you, Aunt Rena. Really happy. You deserve this. Serena pulled him into a hug. I love you, baby. Nothing changes that. You'll always be my first priority. I know, but those little girls need you too, and you need them. He pulled back. Besides, now I get to be a cousin. 3 cousins at once. That's pretty cool. Faith appeared in the doorway. You're going to be our cousin. I guess so. Do you like butterflies? I don't know. I've never really thought about it. Well, you need to think about it. It's important. Jalen laughed. Okay, little one, I'll think about it. Faith grabbed his hand. Come on, I'll show you my collection. She dragged him toward the playroom. Jalen looked back at Serena and Marcus with an expression that said, "Help me," but he went anyway. The wedding planning began immediately. Faith appointed herself chief coordinator. She carried a small notebook everywhere, making notes about flowers and colors and cake flavors. "Daddy, what's your favorite color?" "Blue." "Wrong. It's lavender. Mama Serena likes lavender." "Then why did you ask?" "To see if you knew." Marcus shook his head. "I have a lot to learn." "Yes, you do." Hope took charge of the music. She spent hours listening to songs on Marcus's phone, making a playlist. "This one makes me cry. We need it." "Why do we need a song that makes you cry?" "Because weddings are supposed to make you cry, Daddy. Happy tears." Grace was quieter about her involvement, but one evening Marcus found her in the study looking at old photo albums. "What are you doing, baby?" Grace looked up. "Looking at pictures of Mommy." Marcus sat down beside her. "Any particular reason?" "I want to do something at the wedding. Something to remember her." Marcus's heart clenched. "What do you have in mind?" "I don't know yet, but I want people to know she's still part of our family, that we didn't forget her." Marcus put his arm around her. "That's a beautiful idea, Grace. We'll figure something out together." "Promise?" "Promise?" They spent the next hour looking at photographs. Evelyn at their wedding, Evelyn pregnant with the triplets, Evelyn holding 3 tiny babies in the hospital, Evelyn laughing in the garden, Evelyn cooking breakfast, Evelyn reading bedtime stories. A life, a whole life, captured in images. "She was so beautiful," Grace whispered. "She was, inside and out." "I look like her." "You do, all 3 of you do." Grace was quiet for a moment. "Daddy?" "Yes." "I'm glad you found Mama Serena. I'm glad you're happy again." "Thank you, baby. That means everything to me. But I'm also glad we're doing something for Mommy, so she's part of it too." "She'll be part of it, I promise." Grace leaned against his shoulder. "I love you, Daddy." "I love you too, Grace. More than you'll ever know." The wedding was set for 3 months later. Spring, April. The anniversary of the first day Serena had walked through the door. They kept it small. Just family and close friends. 50 people. In the garden of the Buckhead estate, where the girls had planted flowers, where Marcus had proposed. The morning of the wedding, Marcus woke up feeling calm. Not nervous, not anxious, just calm. This was right. He knew it in his bones. He got dressed in his study, a simple black suit, Evelyn's cufflinks, which the girls had given him as a wedding present. "So Mommy can be there too," Faith had said. There was a knock at the door. "Come in." Rosetta entered. She was wearing a purple dress and her Sunday hat. "You look handsome, son." "Thanks, Mama." She walked over and straightened his tie. "Your father would be proud of you." Marcus felt tears burning in his eyes. "You think so? I know so. He wasn't good at showing love either, but he loved you more than anything. I wish he could have met the girls." "He sees them. From wherever he is, he sees them." She patted his chest. "Now, you ready to get married?" "More ready than I've ever been." "Then let's go." The ceremony was simple, beautiful, perfect. Serena walked down the aisle on Jalen's arm. She wore a simple white dress. No veil. Just a crown of flowers that Faith had insisted on making herself. The girls stood beside Marcus. All 3 of them. Grace, Hope, and Faith. In matching lavender dresses. Holding hand. The minister spoke about love. About second chances. About the courage to start again. And when it was time for the vows, Marcus spoke from the heart. "Serena, I was broken when you found me. My daughters were silent. My house was empty. My heart was dead." His voice cracked. "You walked through the door and everything changed. Not because you tried to fix us, but because you loved us. Gently, patiently, without conditions." He took her hands. "You taught me what it means to show up, to be present, to put family before everything else. I saved my daughters, and you saved me." Tears streamed down his face. "I promise to love you every day for the rest of my life, to show up for you the way you showed up for me, to be the husband you deserve, the father you've helped me become." He looked at the girls. "We're a family, all of us, and I'm never letting go." Serena's vows were equally moving. "Marcus, I came to this house expecting a job. I found a family." She smiled through her tears. "I found 3 little girls who needed love, and a man who had forgotten how to give it. I watched you struggle. I watched you fail, And then I watched you fight your way back." She squeezed his hand. "You're not the man you were a year ago. You're not even the man you were 6 months ago. You've grown. You've changed. You've become someone I'm proud to love." She looked at the girls. "I promise to love these girls like my own, to be there for every triumph and every tear, to show up day after day for the rest of my life." She looked back at Marcus. "I promise to be your partner, your best friend, your home, forever." The minister smiled. "By the power vested in me by the state of Georgia, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Marcus pulled Serena close and kissed her. The girls cheered, the guests applauded, and somewhere in the distance a yellow butterfly floated past. Grace noticed it first. "Look, a butterfly." Everyone turned. The butterfly circled once, twice, 3 times. Then it landed on the flower crown in Serena's hair. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Faith whispered, "It's Mommy. Mommy came to the wedding." Tears streamed down faces throughout the garden. The butterfly stayed for a long moment. Then it lifted off and flew toward the sky, higher and higher, until it disappeared into the sunlight. Grace was crying. She was here. Mommy was here. Marcus knelt down and pulled all 3 girls into his arms. "She was here, baby. She's always here, watching over us, loving us." "Is she happy?" "I think she is. I think she's very happy." Serena joined the embrace. 5 people, 1 family, bound together by love and loss and the courage to start again. The reception was joyful. There was food and music and dancing. The girls ran around in their lavender dresses, getting cake on their faces and grass stains on their knees. Rosetta gave a toast. "To my son, who finally learned what his daddy never could, that love is the only thing that matters." Dorothy gave a toast. "To Serena, who walked into this house and turned it into a home." Jalen gave a toast. "To my aunt, the strongest woman I know, and to Mr. Well, to Marcus, who proved me wrong, in the best possible way." And Grace gave a toast. She stood on a chair so everyone could see her. She held a glass of apple juice. "To Mama Serena, for loving us when we couldn't talk, for staying when we were scared, for becoming part of our family." She looked at her father. "And to Daddy, for coming home, for staying home, for being the daddy Mommy always knew you could be." She raised her glass. "To family, old and new, here and in heaven, we love you all." Everyone drank, and Marcus cried again. As the sun set, Marcus and Serena stole away for a moment alone. They stood in the garden, looking at the stars beginning to appear. "We did it," Serena said softly. "We did it. Are you happy?" "Happier than I've ever been." She leaned against his shoulder. "What happens now? Now we live, day by day, together. That's all? That's everything." She smiled. "I like that." Marcus wrapped his arm around her. "I used to think success meant buildings, money, power. I thought if I had enough of those things, I would be happy. And now I know the truth. Success is this, right here, a family that loves me, a wife who believes in me, children who trust me." He looked up at the stars. "Everything I built in my career, all those buildings, all those millions, none of it matters if I don't have this, if I don't have people to share it with." "Evelyn taught you that." "Evelyn started the lesson. You finished it." Serena looked up at him. "I love you, Marcus Wellington." "I love you too, Serena Wellington." She laughed. "That's going to take some getting used to. You've got the rest of your life to get used to it." They kissed under the stars, and the world felt right. 6 months later, everything had changed. The house was full, truly full. Jalen had moved in, transferring to a nearby high school for his senior year. Rosetta visited so often she practically had her own room. Dorothy had hired additional staff to keep up with the chaos. And the noise. God, the noise. Laughter echoing through the hallways. Music playing in the kitchen. Arguments about whose turn it was to pick the movie. Footsteps running up and down the stairs. It was messy. It was chaotic. It was absolutely perfect. Serena finished her degree in early childhood development. She graduated summa cum laude, and the whole family was there to watch. "I'm so proud of you," Marcus told her afterward. "So incredibly proud. I couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have. You would have. I just made it a little easier." She smiled. "A lot easier." The daycare was next. Marcus found a property in the west side exactly where Serena had always dreamed. It needed work, but the bones were good. "I want to call it Butterfly Dreams," Serena said when they toured the empty building. "Why butterfly? Because that's how this all started, a drawing of a yellow butterfly. Faith's first gift to me." Marcus smiled. "Butterfly Dreams it is." They broke ground 3 months later. The girls were there for the ceremony. Faith gave a speech about butterflies that went on for 15 minutes. Nobody had the heart to stop her, and Marcus stepped back from his business. Not all the way. He was still involved in major decisions, still attended board meetings, still kept his finger on the pulse, but he was no longer consumed by it. He was home by 5 every day. He took the girls to school in the morning and picked them up in the afternoon. He coached Faith's soccer team. He helped Grace with her history projects. He sat with Hope while she practiced piano. He was present. Finally, fully, completely present. 1 year after the wedding, on a quiet Sunday evening, Marcus found himself in the garden with all 3 girls. They were planting sunflowers, Evelyn's favorite. "Daddy, why did Mommy like sunflowers so much?" Hope asked. Marcus smiled. "She used to say that sunflowers always turn toward the light. No matter how dark things get, they keep reaching for the sun." "Like us," Grace said softly. "Like us." Faith patted dirt around a seedling. "Do you think Mommy can see us from heaven?" "I know she can, baby." "Is she proud of us?" Marcus looked at his 3 daughters, healthy, happy, whole. "She's so proud of you. She's proud of how strong you've been, how brave, how you kept going even when everything felt impossible. Are you proud of us too, Daddy?" More than words can say. Grace looked up to him. "Daddy, yes, baby." "Thank you for staying?" Marcus felt his throat tighten. "What do you mean? After Mommy died, you went away. You were here, but you weren't really here. And then you came back, really came back. And you stayed." Her eyes were wet. "That's all we ever wanted, for you to stay." Marcus knelt down and pulled all 3 of them close. "I'm never leaving again. Never. This is where I belong, with you, with Mama Serena, with our family. Promise?" "I promise. On Mommy's memory, on everything I hold sacred. I promise." They stayed there in the garden until the sun set, planting sunflowers, talking about the future, remembering the past. And when they finally went inside, Serena was waiting with hot chocolate and cookies. "How was the gardening?" "Perfect," Marcus said. "Absolutely perfect." She kissed his cheek. "Dinner's almost ready. Jalen's setting the table. Your mother called twice to confirm she's coming for Sunday supper." "Wouldn't miss it." Marcus looked around at his family, his mother who had never given up on him, his wife who had saved him, his nephew who had challenged him, his daughters who had taught him what really matters. This was wealth, real wealth, the kind that couldn't be counted or measured or put in a bank. He thought about the man he used to be, the man who worked 16-hour days, who chased deals across the globe, who measured success in dollars and square footage. That man was gone. In his place stood someone new, someone better, someone who understood that the greatest deal of all was waiting for him at home. Later that night, after the dishes were done and the girls were in bed, Marcus sat alone in his study. He looked at the photograph on the shelf. Evelyn, still beautiful, still smiling. "I hope I made you proud," he whispered. "I hope you know that I finally got it. Finally understood what you were trying to teach me all along." He touched the frame gently. "I love her. Serena, I love her with all my heart. But my love for you hasn't changed. It hasn't faded. You're still here, in our daughters' eyes, in their laughter, in the way Grace tilts her head when she's thinking, in the way Hope asks questions about everything, in the way Faith sings to herself when she thinks no one is listening." Tears streamed down his face. "Thank you for giving them to me. Thank you for teaching me how to love even if it took me too long to learn. Thank you for being my wife, my partner, my best friend." He took a deep breath. "I'll see you again someday. But until then, I'm going to live. Really live. The way you always wanted me to." He kissed his fingers and touched them to her image. "Goodbye, my love. Not forever, just for now." He turned off the light and went upstairs. Serena was already in bed reading. "Everything okay?" "Everything's perfect." He climbed in beside her. "I was talking to Evelyn." Serena set down her book. "What did you tell her?" "That I'm happy, that the girls are happy, that I finally figured out what matters." Serena took his hand. "She knows Marcus. She's always known." You think so? I know so. She's part of us now, part of this family. She always will be. Marcus squeezed her hand. I love you. I love you too. He closed his eyes, and for the first time in years he slept without dreams, without regrets, without fear, just peace. Pure, perfect peace. 3 years later, the Marcus Wellington stood before a crowd of 500 people, the ribbon-cutting ceremony for Butterfly Dreams Early Learning Center. Serena stood beside him, glowing with pride. The girls stood behind them, now 10 years old, poised and confident. Jalen, now a college freshman, had come home for the ceremony. Rosetta sat in the front row, dabbing at her eyes. Marcus cleared his throat. 3 years ago, I was a broken man. I had money, I had buildings, I had everything the world says you're supposed to want, but I had lost the only things that mattered. My connection to my children, my sense of purpose, my soul. He looked at Serena. And then a woman walked into my house. A woman who didn't care about my money or my buildings. A woman who saw my daughter's pain and decided to do something about it. A woman who loved without conditions, who showed up without expectations, who changed everything. His voice broke. This center is her dream, a place where children from every background can learn and grow and dream, a place built on love, the same love that saved my family. He turned to the crowd. I spent my whole life building things, but this is the most important thing I've ever helped build, because it's not about profit margins or property values. It's about children, about the future, about what really matters. He picked up the oversized scissors. So today, we don't just cut a ribbon, we open a door to possibility, a door to hope, a door to a brighter future for every child who walks through it. He looked at his family. I am Marcus Wellington. I am a husband, a father, a work in progress, and I am the luckiest man alive. He cut the ribbon. The crowd cheered. And in that moment, surrounded by everyone he loved, Marcus finally understood the truth his wife had tried to teach him years ago. The truth that had taken him so long to learn. That wealth isn't measured in dollars. That success isn't counted in buildings. That the most valuable thing in this world isn't power or prestige or property. It's love. Love that shows up. Love that stays. Love that heals. Love that transforms. Marcus Wellington had built an empire of concrete and steel, but his greatest achievement was standing right beside him. A family, whole, healed, together, and nothing in the world could ever take that away.